30 is the new 20. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe, and click the notification bell so you're notified the next time we post or go live. I'm La Hefa.
Christmas on demand.
It's your boy SmileyJizzle in the building. And we here, man. Let's get to it.
How is everyone today?
Glorious. Sensational.
Blessed and highly favored.
Definitely like that.
How was your weekend?
It's pretty good. UFC kind of let me down. I thought my dude Alex Pereira's gonna win. He lost. Fucked me up right quick. Messed me up. Excuse me. And yeah.
Did you bet on it?
No, I didn't. Thank God.
Good.
Thank God. Thank God.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm kind of against voting on sports events now, man. They be, what's going on, yo?
Guy's name is
the underdogs is winning.
I think it's like Collide. He has a hard to pronounce name.
Where's he from? Was it U.S. against someone else?
Yeah.
Or was it?
No, it was Brazil versus I think Russia.
Oh
like
shit!
Somewhere over there.
Russia won?
Or Serbia over there, and the dudes with the beard, the Muslim dudes with the beard, but they're not like
Serbia.
Muslim. Yeah, it might be over there. I don't want to
misspeak.
Because I'm saying Russian. Because you seen that interview with Zelensky and fucking Vance and Trump.
Mm-hmm. And he's Ukraine.
Ukraine is no, but I'm saying like the way they was talking to that nigga was like, yo, like nigga, you don't have no card. Remember he said, you have no cards.
Yeah, because they were going against Russia. Russia's a superpower over there.
They are.
Ukraine is like it's like a city versus a country. You see what I'm saying? That's really what it is. It's a big city versus a country. And that country is like, nah, we want access to everything instead of what?
That's us.
That's us. That's a good picture.
Yeah, man. I'm just happy to be alive, man. Every day, man. I always say, like, yo, I might not be like the happiest man in the world, but every day that I wake up is something that I like to say. It's a second chance.
Yeah, real talk.
I mean, you get an opportunity to whatever you feel like you didn't accomplish yesterday. Tomorrow's a new day.
Absolutely. Yeah, I try to have more gratitude too to my creator. You know what I'm saying? Just for the fact that I have another chance to, like you said, do better than I did yesterday. That's just dope. And I'm appreciative of that shit. A lot of people don't even think about it. They're just like, oh, I gotta go to work. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. But me personally, I'm like, even though it's a rough time for a lot of people, I feel like the times where it's the craziest for the people around, it's not crazy for me, if that makes sense. It's like that's when I'm flourishing. It's like when, other people are going through it sometimes. And it's so weird to say that, but it's like, even since, remember the last C-19 pandemic situation happened?
Yeah, Bill.
I just felt like I was flourishing then. Like my finances was going
Did you ever get the jabberoo, whatever?
Nah, no, of course not. But that's part of it. Like I felt like faith was stronger than fear at that moment. Because a lot of people were getting it out of fear of losing their job, fear of getting sick, fear of being older and being more accessible to it. But like, I didn't have that fear. I felt like I'd be more fearful to put something in my body that I didn't know what the fuck was. You see what I'm saying? I know what they said it was, but I need to know. And I'm glad I didn't, because you know what I mean? I feel like there might be an after effect that I'd have been
Has yet to be seen.
Exactly. Or maybe it has been seen, but they're not reporting it as such.
Well, I know people that have gotten it and they seem to be okay.
Everybody,
I didn't think
I don't think
everybody that I know that's got it
that fast
has contracted the virus
after it, right?
After.
And they trying to say, oh,
and I've never gotten it, and I've never
less
contracted contracted it.
But I think that goes to say
Everybody that I know that's
Grandma
got
and
it
aunt
has said that they've had it. Well, maybe they had symptoms and they didn't know.
I think that goes to show.
well, they never said that to me. That's what I'm saying. They
That's what I'm
didn't.
saying.
I think that goes to show about the strength of the human body. Though.
But everybody else that I know that has got the, you know, whatever they said that they've had it, and I'm like, damn. But they didn't get it before they got this shit. So it's like, you know, and there's always a chance of getting it. Once you get a vaccine, there's always a chance.
But that's what a vaccine is.
That's why I take it. They
but it's
give
supposed
you
to be a dead.
so you can fight it off.
It's supposed to be a dead version of the actual virus.
Not really dead.
They give you a dose of it, so it's small enough so that your body can fight it off.
But it's not live. But it's not live. Like
it's not supposed to be live, Smiley. But if they can't even
tell
you
what
the ingredients is,
okay,
then guess
but that's
what?
what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. In essentially, it's not alive. You know what I mean? They're not giving you a live virus, supposedly, right? We could say, but
those
allegedly,
proteins are alive.
I'm not a scientist, but they're saying that it's not, and they include that with sugars, metals, and other things. You know what I mean? So these things that you don't know of are going in your body. We could break it down a little bit further. You know, I'm pretty sure ChatGPT will tell you whatever they put somewhere to be the ingredients in this or whatever. But essentially, normal people or laymen, you know, we don't know. We don't fucking know. And even some of the doctors, I've talked to doctors on Clubhouse, they don't know.
I feel like
I've talked to doctors on Clubhouse.
I feel
like
they don't know. Make it.
I feel like
what I'm saying.
I do feel.
They just prescribe it to people.
Yeah. Hold on. I do feel like certain doctors do know.
But doctors do.
Hold on.
Doctors do know.
Let me say
what are in these things.
I feel like certain doctors do know, and those doctors were getting.
They may not.
Hold on. E. Certain doctors do know, but certain doctors were threatened because of them trying to stop the vaccination.
Yeah, and they had to quit.
And this is my thing. You're not gonna force out somebody for telling the truth about this isn't false. If it was false, then guess what? These companies could sue you. Like, no, you're sending out misinformation and you're a doctor. This you can't do this.
Yeah,
but if it's true,
come out and say that they not taking it, or tell people don't not.
100%. And this is what I'm saying. It's like if you know, and you're trying to spread that information, you're risking your job. But that's what I'm saying. I feel like that's when faith over fear is important, because if you won't stand on your principles and you're gonna let certain people go down a path that you know is not a good path, then you can't pretend that, oh yeah, I'm still a good person. Like, no, you fold. You're a folder. When it counts, when it's time to put up and set up, you just let the motherfuckers go down that route, and that doesn't make you a good person. So you have to take accountability and be like, look, I can't say that I'm a good person if I would let some shit go down, and I know some shit like that.
Huh? Oh.
I know some shit like that is a detriment to the people that it's affecting, but I'm just not gonna say nothing because I could lose my job, or it's like, yo, like.
That sounded mad funny. You a folder.
Yeah, people be folding.
Yeah, nigga.
People are folding.
I'm a folder, not a hanger.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit.
Yeah, and then people were also saying that worked in there that they were
you just
lying.
Throw in the pile. You don't fold.
that they were lying
too.
That they were lying and saying that people had C19 that didn't really have it.
I believe that too.
C19.
Oh well, yeah. There's an underlier there. There's the medical facilities are given money or amnesty or some type of compensation for ruling out that, because there's no other medical attention that can be done because there's no cure for it. So they get compensated by ruling out. So this avoids a lot of medical malpractice suits, just saying, hey, you got this. So that was the cause of death, as opposed to as opposed to saying, you know what? We can't do anything else. You know, there's nothing else that we can do to save this person's life. Let's just say they got this, because then we don't have to worry about getting attacked. saving billions of dollars in medical malpractice suits that they get hit with.
Yeah, because you know how many people unalive because of medical malpractice or because of modern medicine? Like, there's thousands of people. That's like the number 2 cause of death.
That. Let's see what the numbers
I googled it. It's like the number 2 reason of why people are in America.
That's crazy. I believe it.
How much? I want to know more specifically.
It was the last time I checked. It could have changed, but I did look it up because I heard someone say
how much money does medical facilities spend on medical malpractice? I'm sorry. How much money does medical facilities spend on medical malpractice suits?
No, I was talking about unaliving specifically. How many people are unalived because of malpractice? I don't know that answer.
3.1 billion.
That's crazy.
That's how much they spend on malpractice, but ask how many people are unalived because of modern medicine.
That is crazy.
All right, let's ask that. How many people have how many people have expired as a result of modern medicine? How many people are alive today because, how many people are not,
Just write it because you can't.
How many people are not alive today because of modern medicine? It's not gonna.
You're gonna have to write it because you can't say the word in how you're saying it. It's not.
How many people are not alive today because of modern medicine? That's what it says.
See you later.
Yeah, it's not gonna.
All right, well, we don't gotta focus on that.
Because basically, modern medicine is supposed to be the solution, but because I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is like just basically mortality. You know what I mean? They can't solve everything because we're not able to solve everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, so in some cases, how many people? Okay, medical errors. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So it's like how many times does well, say the number, but say exactly what it says though.
Estimates of how many people are unalived from medical errors range from 250,000 to 440,000 annually.
That's fucking crazy.
This would make medical errors the 3rd leading cause of unaliving or expiring in the U.S. after heart disease and cancer.
Oh my gosh.
And
however, some people believe that the number is higher.
And we got how much money they spend on these suits, $3.1 billion for medical malpractice.
To make it go away.
So what's the solution?
Do they spend?
What's the solution? Oh, they got vid. That's a solution. I mean, you could take it as a conspiracy. You could take it as a conspiracy theory, but I've heard this from so many people, and I've actually heard this from actual doctors. I can't give you their names, but I've heard this from actual doctors on Clubhouse that have said this. Like, you know what I mean? And they're no longer
no
longer at that. They quit. They quit when this thing happened. They quit because they seen a lot of shady stuff going on.
And they didn't want to take it.
And a lot of people that was in the group was arguing, oh, well, why should I take this? And it was 2 doctors arguing with each other. Like one doctor was saying, well, you don't understand, the purpose of a vaccination. He was like, I fully understand the purpose of a vaccination, but there's tests there's series of tests that people go through before they do human trials, and they would do this for like over a decade. This was introduced to the world as basically just trial and error. Just let's see if it works. You know what I mean? They've never done that. They've done years and years and years of trial and error before they went out to human trials. So they really just saying like, yo, they just threw this out there because they wanted to figure out a way to cure all these people of this shit. Allegedly. But then they had all the fucking the errors that happened from Johnson & Johnson. We're not even gonna talk about that. All that crazy shit that was going on. They had to pull theirs back and then do it over and represent it because they was getting hit with shit.
But remember, this is called C-19. There's it's 19 for a reason. This is
19
the
variants
first
of
case. So have they just started working on it, or is that just what they're doing?
Every virus has numbers.
But you know what?
I just found that out. I was like a few days old when I found that shit out.
But
like
I'm
literally,
saying,
you know what
I literally just found out.
Doesn't that mean that they've
flu,
already been
there's a
for
flu?
a cure?
There's a flu 3.
You know,
there's a flu A.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
You know some wild thing that I just.
But that means that they've
recently.
probably been working on a cure already. If there's another variant, they must have had experience.
The variants mean that the virus has exactly. So the virus became stronger.
But wouldn't you? That's what I'm saying. If you knew it existed, because it was back on the bottle of Febreze containers, you had to have been. One would think if this already existed and this is a mutation of it. You had already been working on it for years because they've been out for years. They just didn't make it public until 19. See 19. Or people didn't pay attention because, like I said, it was on the back of Febreze.
Allegedly,
help prevent the spread.
Allegedly, it was man-made, and if it was a weapon,
they said it was released. This is what they're saying. I've seen an article that said it was released accidentally in the lab, and that's how it got out.
Well, that's what happens.
I was following this shit for a minute, and I don't want to make this a vid episode, but I was following this shit for a long ass time. And matter of fact, I was in Charlotte when everybody was talking about all this shit or whatever, and looking at it on the news, and it was like, yeah, the airports in New York is getting shut down. I'm like, what?
Because we've never been in our lifetime.
Right. I never seen nothing like that. And then everybody, we was just having our living our best life. And down south, nobody was really, taking any precautions, doing any social distancing or anything like that. And then they started getting hit real bad with it. You know what I mean? Down there, it was spreading. But what they were trying to do at the time was develop what's called a herd immunity to it. So if everybody gets sick by it and everybody accidentally gets infected by it, then we will develop our own immunity to it involuntarily. You know what I mean? Instead of us having to have a vaccination. But they were promoting Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, the other fucking people.
Pharmaceutical companies are billion-dollar
industries. Yeah, and yo,
it's like a narcissist. It's like
bro.
Dr. DEATH. You create the problem so you can be the hero.
I mean,
you made this so you could fix it and make people better. So we can good job, modern medicine. Didn't they say Bill Gates? Didn't
they say Bill Gates was talking about this way before it happened? Yeah. That a pandemic was gonna hit us.
Because he was heavily involved in eugenics.
And doesn't Bill Gates own Pfizer? So come on. It's just like you said. It's just like you said.
Yeah, Pfizer was the other one. They had their own.
It's just like she said though. Like you're almost doing this shit just so you could be the hero at the end. Allegedly, I don't know. I'm just saying it's so crazy how a tech guy goes into the pharmaceutical company and just has this prediction. And
right at the time when they were in the biggest crisis.
A lot of people made money too in the stock market during that time. Like whenever it's something like that, all those brick and mortar companies got shut down. Like money. It was crazy.
Look, I'm not saying what I'm saying is fact. I'm just saying what I'm saying is pushing the envelope. Because sometimes you gotta just question shit like, why is this? There has to be a reason why this is attached with this.
That's why I fuck with Kyrie so much. Pause.
Yeah, real talk.
Simply because he stood on it, and people were saying to me, I'm nobody. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, yo, nigga, I don't give a fuck. I'll lose my job, and I'll find me something else. But I'm not gonna be doing this. I'm not gonna risk my personal choices for my body to work somewhere, you know what I mean?
That you don't care about your replacement.
I'm expendable. So
if
I'm
something did happen to me, will I have an interview lined up within 48 hours?
Yeah. People ain't believe me. People was like, yo, nah, you ain't gonna do that. Like, I'm like, yo, try me, because with the shit that I know, I'm not gonna be unemployed for that long, and I'm resourceful. I'll figure out how to make money. You know what I mean? But it's not all about that. It's about really saving your consciousness. You know what I mean? You really want to be you really want to stand on something, and you want to, if you firmly believe whatever you believe, and this is why I let people live with whatever religion they have. You know what I mean? Because if you firmly believe something that doesn't affect anybody and it helps you get through your day-to-day life, then do it. It gives you peace. I think that's the most important thing that we can have for ourselves, is a little bit of peace. Because we don't really have freedom. You know what I mean? We don't really have nothing that we really could call our own. Everything goes back to somebody else. And that's why we have it. You know what I mean? We can't, we need to establish things for ourselves. We constantly preach that we should establish things for ourselves. But as fast as things are being created, it's even faster that it seems like we're being pushed to the back. It's anybody else that's being pushed to the forefront before our culture, and our culture was like the pioneers for a lot of shit.
And that's why I believe
it's not fair.
That's why I believe in the spirituality thing, because it says in the Bible, the meek shall inherit the earth. And I believe that the reason why our people are have to endure this fate, that we're feeling like we're at the lowest at the top totem pole, is because we're the chosen people, bro. You see what I'm saying? Like, that makes sense to me, especially if you're gonna go out your way and change the race of the person that you're worshiping just so it could fit more of a Eurocentric vibe. You see what I'm saying? Like, this makes sense on why they're gonna go through so much to demoralize or desensitize this character, like he's just no big deal.
It's deeper than rap.
Yeah, they changed his name, his likeness. Why? They're not gonna do that for no reason. And if the person is credible, if this is really the savior and he's really talking to us, then of course it makes sense that we're at the lowest of the totem pole right now. Of course. But then it's like you think about the genetic part about that. Why is one people dying out and the other people is surviving? Why is everything trying to be mixed now instead of, you know what I mean, just normal, natural? You see what I'm saying? Because something is not working naturally on a natural level for people, and they know this shit. The real ones that's really paying attention, I'm not saying everybody, but I'm saying the real ones that's really paying attention know this shit. So they have to figure out a way out of this place, right? Tech, AI, artificial intelligence, Mars, wherever you want to go that's not here. And it's not the place that's made for us. Or you confuse the people that's supposed to be here to thinking that they're worthless. You know what I'm saying? It's either or both. So I don't know, man. I just think that
it's divide and conquer.
Yeah, I think it's,
and also, you know what I mean, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, true. But that's why we live how we live.
Yo, that's the most memorable scene in The Matrix.
What?
What's the, I always forget the actor's name. The captain from Bad Boys, the white guy.
Cypher.
Right.
He was Cypher in the movie.
So he's sitting there eating his computer generated steak.
Mm-hmm. With the what's the name?
Talking to one of the agents, and says, ignorance is bliss. That's not the first time that I heard that statement. It's not the first time that I even understood what that phrase meant. But it was at that point, watching The Matrix. And if you haven't watched The Matrix, you should watch The Matrix. It was at that point in watching The Matrix and hearing him say that where I truly understood what that term actually means in its true essence of the word. Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, you do.
Because when you call somebody ignorant, a lot of times in the context that you're using, just like you can use bitch as a term of endearment. sometimes when you use ignorant, you're not referring to somebody being dumb. You're referring to somebody not understanding something.
They're unaware, yeah.
So it's like,
but that's
ignorance is bliss is basically the life that most people, this whole woke shit, right? It's what most people subscribe to. Ignorance is bliss lifestyle, content, complacency. Most people are, the reason that there's a small percentage of, the reason that there's a small percentage of successful people in the world is because some people are okay with the way things are. Whether, this is why I think, if you're not okay with the way things are, then you'll change. Plain and simple. You're gonna try to change. You can't make an excuse and say, well, I can't change because you're making an excuse.
Smiley.
Don't make an excuse.
Smiley.
Find a solution.
Being okay with the way things are.
It's complacency.
It's not complacency.
That is what it is. Look it up.
Can I speak?
You could say it, but that's what complacency is.
I didn't even say complacency. Can I speak? But I say the word that I want to say.
You can say what word you want, but I'm saying being okay with the way things are is complacent. Now, what were you going to say?
So if you're unhappy with it.
I'm saying, me personally, I'm saying being okay with the way things are right now is not complacency. It's selfish because you're not thinking about anybody else but your life, what you're going through. And it's okay to be selfish. I'm not saying it's not okay to be selfish. But if you're up and if you are okay, if you are good, you're either a giving person or you're not a giving person. If you're a giving person, you're going to say, okay, even though I'm good, even though I'm straight, there's other people that need help. So because I have the resources, let me help these people. This is not the world we live in anymore. Hold on, let me finish.
Okay, go
This is not the world we live in as far as our community, because what happens when our community gets up, they don't pull back, hey, let me pull a bunch of my brothers with me. It's the crabs in the bucket mentality. This is our reality. This is not what I think is going on. This is the facts. All of the rich black people you know, right? If they put on their family and their friends, it's a select number. They can't help too many people because of the system that we're in. Period. We can't do anything about that unless we direct source. And the direct source is a war, my nigga. And you're not trying to go to the war with your own state. And I agree, I don't want to go to war with my own state either, or my own country either. All I'm saying is there has to be some type of acknowledgement when, hey, these people are getting a push for being indigenous to this people, to this land. But we're indigenous to this land. A lot of us are. And they don't even get recognized for it. These people are getting this bag for the atrocities that they had to go through from Hitler, and you know what I'm saying? But we don't get any compensation for slavery. We don't get any compensation for none of the war crimes done against us that all these other places in Africa and all these other melanated places are saying, yo, there needs to be some type of justice for the American black people. You see what I'm saying? But we don't even hear about this shit because we're in enemy territory. So if we're in enemy territory, yes, we could stand up for ourselves and we can be kumbaya and we could all get along, but guess what? There will be an attempt to assassinate us from the powers to be, and it's proven in history time and time again. I just think we need to do something different. And I think when you say the woke culture is kind of, I don't know how you worded it. I don't want to misquote you, but basically, to my understanding, I felt like you felt as though the woke culture is coming from more of an ignorance side. But I think the woke culture is supposed to be, not saying that it is all the time, but the woke culture is supposed to be the chosen word woke. So if you're white and you're woke, guess what? Guess what? We're not talking to you for real. Like, look, you have to have that knowledge to understand that certain people were chosen because of how they were treated. You were a lane because you just was a lane. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you weren't chosen by God because, and I know I sound racist right now, but I'm saying, like, this is some real shit. Woke to me means the chosen people woke up and they've realized what their purpose is. Their purpose isn't to be at the bottom of the barrel. The purpose isn't to have all of these racist people against them and this racist world against them. It's the purpose is to be chosen by God to say, look, you threw whatever you threw at me, and now this whole world is about to recreate in my Father's image, and I'm going to be straight, and all of the people that God chose is going to be straight, and you are going to be the people that suffering, the people that is the billionaires, the bloodlines, and the all these people, according to scripture, are supposed to be not in charge no more. So this is what I'm saying. That is the reason why I can't sit here and be like, okay, these are the ignorant people, and the people that got their money and shit together is the people that got it. Because I really believe the people that got their money and shit together, especially the people that are of our culture, that have their money and shit together, are coming to an end where this money shit ain't gonna fucking matter. Where none of that shit isn't gonna matter. So what are you gonna do then? Once they turn off the Wi-Fi, once the fucking money don't matter, once if anything happens that fucks up the way it is now, it's over. Think about that. If anything happens, if anything outside of the government's control happens, it's over. And they're playing with war, and they're playing with all of these things that we can't even control. What can we control? How we feel internally, how we look at ourselves, how we internalize our life, and how we internalize what we see and how our perception is. We can control that. You see what I'm saying? But guess what? It's distractions. They're not gonna make us focus on that because baddies is on. You see what I'm saying? Because 50 is beefing with Joe Biden. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the distraction. This is what I'm saying. You don't get that knowledge from going to work 9 to 5, my nigga. You don't get that knowledge from hustling and trying to get $1, my nigga. You get that knowledge from internally. What do I gotta think, and how do I want my life to manifest on the outside? But all that starts from internally. And if you're not right internally, it's not gonna be right externally. That's what I'm saying.
Correct. Speaking of not being right externally, internally, or
anything,
whatever. In recent events, Dr. Umar alleged daughter. Well, he confirmed that is his daughter. Sure. She came out and she had a few choice words for him. Well, she said it wasn't about him. She said she just wanted to get in contact with her sister because apparently she has a sister and he wasn't a part of either one of their lives physically, according to her, allegedly. And she doesn't know her sister and she'd like to have a relationship with her. So she got on the internet and went live saying that if you're my sister, we're both Dr. Umar's daughter, like, please reach out to me. I'd like to get to know you or whatever. Then he comes back and respond and said, you trying to get some traction on your struggle stream career or something to that effect. It wasn't verbatim. I don't remember exactly. But he tried to play her about being a content creator. But apparently she was looking for money. It was a money grab, because then there was another clip of her saying, oh, if you want to talk to me or if you want to interview me or something like that, like, you don't, that's not her exact words, but she was asking for money, saying you got to pay, it costs this much for this, or you got to pay me if you want me to do this or whatever. So maybe he wasn't in her, that's not a lie. He said he paid child support or whatever, but she's only saying she wasn't really looking for her sister. She really, if you wanted to out him and say he was a bad father, then just say that. Don't act like you. But apparently she did get in contact with her sister. She also said she did reach out to her and she was able to have a conversation with her because of going live. She also did try to reach out to him first. She posted screenshots of her contacting him, and then he responded back. And when she mentioned, "Do you have any other children? I'd really like to meet them," he stopped responding. But it seems like this woman has a bad temper. There was another clip of her going off on someone and cursing them out after she went live again because they were telling her she was wrong for outing her family online, and she cursed her out and hung up on her.
Yo.
So the fact of the matter is, if the mom tried to keep you from her, and that's the reason why we don't know, we haven't heard from the mom, but I'm assuming if you only pay child support, I would hope, since he's Dr. Umar and we know everything that he stands for, that he did make an attempt to be in the child's life. But I don't think that's right for her to withhold the child from her or not give him rights. I think if a woman does that, that's disgusting. You shouldn't keep your child from a father that wants to be present in their life. But I also think it's the responsibility of both of you, so I don't think it should stop there. I don't think you should just give up. If she does try to stop you from seeing your child, you should go to court. If they don't give you the amount of time you want, then appeal it and try again. And there are men that have
Write
try
her
to
letters,
get
keep
full,
sending that
try to
shit,
get full custody
keep a copy of
or
it.
whatever.
You know what I
Because
mean?
at the end of the
Something.
day, what matters is not about you or her anymore, and you brought a child into this world, and that's what matters more than anything else. So you both need to take that responsibility. If you don't want it, then use precaution. There's several methods of birth control that you can use. They have condoms. I don't really agree with birth control because, like we just talked about, I don't like no type of medication, so because I don't trust it. I don't know what I'm putting in my body.
What about the
But there are
IUD?
other forms, any type of birth control. I don't take it for me.
Yeah.
But other people don't feel that way. That's a form. There's multiple forms of birth control. You can use protection. There are other methods that I'm not gonna mention that are that work as well. And if you don't want to have a child, if you know he don't want you or you don't want him or y'all not in a committed relationship, stop doing this, because this is why. And then that's why this girl don't know how to act. She coming online talking crazy, talking. She shouldn't have brought it to the internet. But if she was trying to reach out to him and he wasn't answering, but I think she don't even care about that. I think she just trying to get money. Maybe he was paying child support. Now she's 22. She's not getting it anymore. Maybe it changed her life, so she feels salty. But I do also feel like if you're a child and your father's not in your life, I understand why you would be upset, because you didn't have a relationship with him. So she has a reason to be upset, but maybe it's misdirected if you don't know the whole story as to why he wasn't there. Maybe your mom told you one thing and you didn't get to hear his side of the story. So I don't know. I would need more information before I fully, but I think both parents need to be held accountable in this situation. They both should have done everything they can to be present, and she should not try to keep him from him. But if you know a man don't want you, because he said there's been multiple women that he has had children by, and it didn't work out. He wasn't ready to marry them for whatever reason, and he told you that. Like I said, you should have never gotten pregnant in the first place if y'all wasn't ready for that type of responsibility. Because I don't understand how you ready for your you're ready to have a kid, but you're not ready for marriage. Like if that's not who you want to marry, then you shouldn't have knocked her up, and you shouldn't have let him knock you up if you wasn't ready to be a wife.
Solid. What you think?
Several things. Shout out to Dr. Umar. Start out right there. So I'm not like an avid supporter of Umar, you know what I mean? But I like his talking points, like when he's talking about uplifting and things of that nature, and trying to highlight the good things. And if it's not black, then it's not good, or whatever he's saying.
Mayonnaise.
Yeah. Keep it in the culture type. Okay.
She mighty light skinned.
He's out here.
Mother black? No,
But I'm just saying, if he's out here and he's doing what he's saying people shouldn't be doing, it's the same thing as we saying like with other people. If they have done something wrong and they're trying to tell people not to do something wrong, are they still okay to give you that information? Can you still like what's that guy's name? Something Jackson. What's his name? The dude that he had Derek Jackson. Yeah, like Derek Jackson. Like this dude, I'm gonna tell you, this dude be out here, he be talking about these dudes ain't shit. They cheat on their wife, they cheat on their woman, and then he doing the same thing, right?
Shit.
And then break up with his joint. They got kids together and all this, and she crashing out publicly online or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's
like, that's not
so the thing is, like, you can't defeat the message, right? But you defeat the messenger. So it's like the person who's giving you this message, who's trying to tell you that this is the way that you're supposed to live your life, and you're supposed to do like this. And if Jesus was a serial killer, would you still have followed him? You know what I mean? Like it's like saying, like, we're idolizing these people and putting them on this pedestal as like they're not human. They're sinners. They've made mistakes. But the message, can we resonate with the message? Yes or no? This is what I'm talking about now. Can we resonate with the message? Is him building a damn school for us, or even trying to build a school, is that something that we can, as black people, support? Is that something that's good? Despite Martin Luther King cheating on his wife, do we still approve that he gave us an opportunity to be equal, kind of? You know what I mean?
But that's different, because if you're
different.
No, because I'm about to tell you.
Is the good not good enough?
Can I tell you?
Tell me. Go ahead, please.
So Martin Luther King cheating, nobody cares about that. That's not, because there's no correlation between that. But if you're making a school to teach people something, what are you teaching them? Are you teaching them to be a good father and be in your child's life? Or are you teaching them, at least I paid child support? Like, that's important too. If you're going to be teaching, that's the difference. You're creating an institution, but you're creating an institution to teach people. Who's going to be the teacher? You're not going to be the one that.
No, hell no. You're hiring teachers. Yeah, for different shit, financial advisory, all different types of shit.
I see him being like the dean or something.
Fucking self-defense classes, archery, all this other shit, outdoor skills, and how to do fires and. You know what I mean? Shit like that.
I just feel like his response was, and Sweeney said
it lackluster.
Shout out to Lapeef. I was on Lapeef today. It's another podcast. Check them out, you guys, if you haven't. They have really good content. And they were talking about it, and Sweeney, one of the panelists, was like, his response wasn't giving that he tried to be in the child's life. He acted as if he didn't care. He had like an ego in his response, like your little struggle stream career, you trying to promote it, which it turns out she was, because she was asking for money. But I feel like if you cared about that child and you wanted at any point to have a relationship with them, I don't think that's appropriate for a father to say to the child. And furthermore, he said, why are you just now reaching out to me? You're the father. She said this. Why should I have to reach out to you at all? You're the father. You should have been there. Like, so, and I don't know what's the reason why he wasn't, again, because we haven't heard from the mom, so I would have liked to hear her side of the story. And he did say, tell Mama Smurf and you Baby Smurf, he called her Baby Smurf, the daughter, and I'm Papa Smurf, let's meet up next Thursday. And, you know, but his attitude about it, like, because he's like,
that's not happening.
He's like, at least I paid child support.
Because why take it to online? But I think
it's more to the story.
He was addressing the people at first.
Him
more
attacking
so
it head
than
on
his daughter.
is a political move, though.
And he also was
not letting it just sit and then whatever. He's like addressing the issue. However it looks, it doesn't look well, because it's like, okay, well, he's paying child support. Obviously, he's supporting in some type of way, whatever that looks like. But then he's not a part of the child's life, and it contradicts a lot of his talking points. I'm saying
that's the problem.
We might not know what their situation is.
So I think it's his responsibility, because of his platform and who he is and what he represents. His response should have been better than that, because you were addressing the people. When he first came on, he wasn't addressing what she said until the end of the video. In the beginning, he was talking to his viewers, to the people that follow him. Do you think that I am the type of man? This is who he wasn't even addressing her. So because you're addressing us, so because you're addressing
so-called prophets.
So because you're addressing us, then you need to tell us the full story, because you can't say, oh, I don't need to tell you nothing, but you talking to us and addressing us when you talk about it. So you should elaborate and give us something to go on, because you kind of looking bad right now. Like this is not acceptable. And I don't condone the mom taking away the child from the father. So if she put up any type of fuss or whatever, and that's why it ended up that way, I don't condone that either. But with your platform especially, I know you're making some type of profit or something, whatever you're doing, you could have went to court, and you shouldn't have to do that.
He giving Pastor Brewer, huh?
Yeah, you shouldn't. I don't know who that is. You shouldn't have Chucky. Oh. You shouldn't have to. He's stupid. You shouldn't have to fight and do that, because someone said that on Lapeef. Like, why do you have to do that? That was some people are. You shouldn't have to. But again, you're both are thinking selfishly. If the father just gives up and the mom is trying to take him away, y'all both thinking about yourself. You're not thinking about what the bigger picture is, the betterment of the child. And the betterment of the child includes having both parents in their life working cohesively, so they can be a reputable member of society and not be acting like you should have raised her better, so she wouldn't feel the need or even have more decorum to go online and expose you like this in the first place.
I think
that's because you weren't there. If you were there, maybe she wouldn't be acting like this.
I think that's a good segue into emotional intelligence, because there was a lot of examples of emotional intelligence or the lack thereof in this situation, and that's why it got to the media. That's why it got online. That's why we're talking about the shit now, because of something that happened in the family dynamic, the same black family dynamic that Dr. Umar always professes. This is true. Like, he is talking about the black family staying together. So this does, regardless on how it plays out, this does contradicts everything that he's teaching. You see what I'm saying? Which counts, because if people already are sketchy about the school, now we're sketchy about your credibility and shit. You know what I'm saying?
And I have a clip about emotional intelligence, about someone.
This current generation being born, honestly, if we're gonna be real, is they were raised by people who didn't understand emotional intelligence. So a lot of the people raising them thought it was okay to whoop their kids with belts and call them bitches and call them stupid when they did something wrong. And then when that child grew up and exhibited that same behavior and returned that same dialect, we were disrespectful. But in reality, we were simply being what we were taught. So what's wrong with this generation is that, unfortunately, the people who raised it were not yet prepared to.
Okay.
And I say that as a child who was raised by an excellent mother when it comes to financials, but no emotional understanding. I'm good. I'm perfectly good. I got my ass beat, and I'm still straight.
Who was that, Younger Man?
She got her ass beat and she's still straight.
Younger Man?
No, it was a lookalike.
Oh shit.
So she not straight, no pun intended. Yeah, what do you think? I agree with what she said, because a lot of parents do that to their kids. Like, they get mad at them and they lead with emotion, and that's why they get a whipping most of the time, is because they're mad about what they did. They're not thinking clearly. They say it's like, oh, it's a punishment or to give you discipline, but it's really because you're angry and you're trying to. It's like if you punch the wall or something because you're mad. Like, you're mad about what they did, because that's the first thing that comes to mind. They'll be like, I'm gonna beat their whatever. Like, you know, as soon as you, like, if that's the first.
Do you think physical discipline is an example you're displaying of emotional intelligence? Like, you're not controlling your emotional intelligence, or you're showing what example of emotional intelligence are you getting from physical discipline?
You're not controlling it. That's what she's saying. Whooping your kids and then calling them bitches and stuff like that when you're mad, or calling them stupid and stuff like that. That's unacceptable, because you wouldn't want nobody talking to you like that. That's how you talk to people in the street.
Can I speak on it?
Not a family member or your loved one.
So me personally, I have a different view about that specifically, because I've seen too many people in the Jamaican culture yes, there are people that got abused, but I think abuse and spanking is different. Like in Jamaica, or maybe not even, let's just say in a basic standard, right? There is the consequences from your parents, and there's the consequences of the world, right? The world is always going to be worse than your parents' consequences. But your parents' job, both of them, is to make sure they steer you in a way where you fear the consequences, so you don't even think to go in the real world and do these things, right? And it starts early. You know, when you start getting preteen, teenager, you start going through puberty and shit, real life shit starts to happen to you, right? So there should be real life consequences. So the difference between abuse and spanking to me is if you do something that is in the detriment of your life, somebody else's safety, somebody else's you're pushing somebody else to do something like bullying or some shit like that, there should be capital punishment. There should be, hey, there is a certain standards of punishment. Like certain things could be spoken about. But a lot of, I wanted to say this before too, a lot of it comes down to do as I say, not as I do. So if you're not going to set that standard, and if you're going to be the parent that always tells them what to do, but then you do the opposite, you're not qualified to whoop your kids because, like E said, it's out of emotion. You don't have any emotional intelligence. The difference is, I feel like a person like my father, who did whoop me, does have emotional intelligence. The emotional intelligence is, I knew I was stronger than my mother after a certain age. So she can't stop me. I fear no consequences because all that my mother could do is tell me not to do wrong. Right? And if he wasn't there, I knew full well, and I'm just saying, this is just me looking back. I wasn't thinking this way as a child. This is me looking back. I knew that there was nothing my mother could do to stop me. If I wanted to go out late, I'm going to go out late. If I wanted to do whatever I wanted to do, how is she going to stop me? She loves me. She's not going to kick me out or because she's going to worry herself to death. You see what I'm saying? So at some point, I need to have some respect and some regard to something greater than myself. And sometimes that comes with physical punishment. And it's just like let's say the Muslims, right? The whole situation with Malcolm X. Now, Malcolm X went against the grain because you're talking about the leader in the group. That's a no-no. You're not supposed to talk about the leader in the group, right? So there is certain consequences that comes with that. Even if we don't agree with these consequences, Malcolm X knows that there are certain consequences that come with that. And he even said it on when he was like, if I was in that organization and somebody else was saying the things that I'm saying, I would want to kill me too. He said kill.
Delete.
He said delete. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, to me, I just feel like there is so much that talking, time out, working out, there's so much. And I'll even go as far as to say, I don't think discipline should come from a woman, period. Because it's not respected like it's respected from a man. That's why I think the importance of a man, that's part of it, to be the disciplinary of the house. Now, if he's not credible and he's just abusing his kid, that's wrong, right? But if he knows that, this kid is putting their life or their safety or somebody else's life or their safety or making sexual innuendo towards somebody else, and you know what I'm saying, you're forcing it on somebody, or that has to be corrected in a way where you say, look, I'm not going to do this again. Now, if psychologically you go through all that and you still become that, then guess what? Maybe you weren't qualified to give that punishment. maybe you couldn't control that. Maybe that was just in your kid, and your kid was just, you see what I'm saying? But from the people that I know, from the people that, you know what I mean, from myself personally, I am appreciative because I know that if my mother had to do it by herself, she wouldn't have been able to control me, and I would have been a whole different breed of animal. That's facts.
I mean,
you ever get to that one day where your mother is like trying to spank you with a belt or some shit? You just like, come on, Bob, what the fuck are you doing? Like, that shit is different, bro. Like,
but like the way I look at it, because I was a different kid. But the way I look at it is, I think the benefit of having a compassionate parent is you don't want to let them down. Like, you know what I mean? You feel like it kind of, the guilt kind of bothers you. But after a while, if you're a sociopath, right, then you don't really care about the guilt. You know what I mean? So then there's other things going on psychologically that need to be tended to. So that's beyond the parent's control. There's no amount of abuse that's gonna help you change that. In fact, more abuse could make them resent you more and could make them a loose cannon. It could do more damage than good. So it's like, and not just abuse, a spanking, all right? Because that kid doesn't understand and won't understand why what they did is wrong, regardless of what you do, there's no way that what they did is wrong because they don't feel anything from it. They don't have any feeling from it. They only have the feeling that you gave them. You know what I mean? They can only understand that. And they know that you don't like it. You know what I mean? So they'll only do this to appease you.
Not even that. You just don't want to do it.
Hold on. I'll let you cook.
My bad. Go ahead.
But they'll hold on to that because they don't want to disappoint you. Because that guilt. You understand what I'm saying? That guilt. And the parent, the kid already looks up to you. You held them, you fed them, you bathed them, you did all these things. So the kid already appreciates you already as their caretaker. But at some points in life, humans become defiant of their captors. So the people that are responsible for us, we're gonna at some point, we're gonna leave the nest. We're gonna have to have that defiance. We're gonna have to be able to think for ourselves at some point. And sometimes they learn this quite early, but you have to learn to navigate that in a patient way. And a lot of times, I think like getting physical with a child is like you've run out of options. I feel like that kid doesn't need physical discipline unless you have to restrain them, unless they're waving knives or they're like, they're doing crazy shit. Like, I was thinking of an analogy while you were saying your points about what if you lived in like a cellar. It was like a nuclear fallout or some shit. And your child was born in a cellar. You had an antenna, TV, like it's crazy hypothetical. Like, but your child was born in a cellar, you know what I mean? And you couldn't go outside. And then if you did go outside, you had like some tube or some astronaut looking suit to go out there and you supervise it. So you could play catch or kickball with them or some shit, but you could only go so far because it was like mutants or something, right? Yeah. So then you got to go back inside your shit. I know I got a crazy imagination, but I was thinking about this shit. So you go back in the shit or whatever, and at some point, the kid sneaks out, everybody sleep, mom and dad are asleep, and the kid sneaks out, and the kid runs out into the world because the kid wants to see what the world looks like. It's so curious. It's been cooped up in this thing for 7-8 years, you know what I mean? And it wants to know what it's like to go out there. It wants to explore. It's seen little stories that you told it of Magellan and Don Quixote and all these different amazing people, and it wants to experience this for itself. And the kid's brilliant, kid's smart. Do you abuse this kid, or I'm sorry, physically do something to the kid because the kid sneaks out, but you manage to go out, get them, you're so happy that they're alive? What type of discipline do they get for that? What does that discipline look like? This is life, and this is mortality, you know what I mean? But this kid is born in a world that you know, they didn't ask to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Explain that. Go ahead. I'll give it to you.
So if I had to leave the cellar, then one day the child would have to learn to leave the cellar. If the child was a child and left the cellar, yes, he's getting his ass whooped. He's getting his ass whooped. Because, yo, you went out there when you can liably die. And I need you to know the severity of the situation to never do that again. Whether it's me scaring you, whether it don't matter. Like, I need you to know. And a lecture ain't gonna do it, bro. Especially if he's that fucking curious. A lecture ain't gonna fucking do it. Timeout ain't gonna fucking do it. You're gonna have to restrain the kid some way, somehow. And I feel like, yo, if a whooping can't do it, then guess what? I try my best. Like you said, if it's the last option, it's gonna be the option that I perform. If he or she is too young to understand not to go out there, then he or she should be young enough to understand that there is certain consequences that I don't want to face. So I am going to make sure I don't do whatever. Even if I don't understand it, I'm gonna make sure I do whatever it takes not to go against what Pop is saying in this instance, because he's dead serious. And I think that's the problem with a lot of women that are in control of their kids. They're telling them not to do this shit, but you can't physically force him. I can. Fathers can. And this is what I'm saying. Like, kids know this psychologically. Like, you might test your pops. You know what I mean? If you're in a situation where you're around them and then you're not feeling what the fuck he's doing, you're gonna test them one day. And you know what I mean? Some kids beat their pops. So what you do now if you beat your pops? You see what I'm saying? Like, you don't listen to them no more? This is what I'm saying. I'm saying if it leads to the point where your kids grow up and they want to fight you, you failed. You failed. But if it leads to the points where your kids are defending you on a podcast as a great parent and praising you for raising people like me the way you did, exactly how you did, then I think it's different. You see what I'm saying? Like, this can't be trauma that leads to positive outlooks. This is not, you know what I'm saying? Like it's leading to good things. If it's leading to bad things, then it's trauma. 100%. If it's leading to like, yo, I remember this for like, you used to whoop me with fucking extension cords and shit, that's abuse. I could 100% understand that. But there has to be a dynamic in discipline. There has to be a dynamic in discipline where, yo, there has to be some type of physical intimidation. Like, yo, I wouldn't try this because I don't want to get whooped from my mama or my dad. If there's not, then guess what? I could beat you. So you can't really restrain me like that. I'm really going to do what I want to do. And I'm just saying.
I don't think that hitting your child with anything, like, other than your hand, and that's unnecessary as well. I don't think it's necessary. I think if you discipline your child from the beginning by telling them not to do things, as soon as they're able to understand, as soon as they're able to start hitting or they're doing that, you tell them no and you let them know that you mean, like, the problem is, what I noticed with a lot of people is they reinforce bad behavior. They don't tell them, no, stop, don't do that. They do things when they're little and they think it's funny and it's a joke. Haha, they see you laughing. You're giving them positive reinforcement, so they think it's okay. So they continue to do that behavior and you still laugh and it's funny. Nowadays we have social media, so people post it online to get views and things like that or whatever. And then now you're out in public somewhere and your child is embarrassing you, rolling around on the floor and spitting or knocking stuff over in the store or whatever, and now you want to beat them because you're angry, because you're embarrassed, because you didn't nip it in the bud when it first started. It didn't have to get physical if you would have handled it properly from the beginning. And there are people that have never gotten beatings and they listen to their parents. So I don't think it's like saying that it has to be done or they're not going to respect you or they're going to feel like they could beat you. I just don't think it's necessary.
Can I ask you something about that though? So do you think, this is all hypothetical, right? Let's say, from what you know about white people in America, and from what you know about black people in America, let's say it was an even amount of parents, both parents in the household, right? Which kids would be more disrespectful, as in their upbringing, the white kids or the black kids?
You can't say that.
Why can't you say that?
Because you don't, just because your race doesn't determine how well you're going to be raised just because of that. There are people that are white that had a bad upbringing, and you could have two parents in the household and still
We're talking about majority.
No, you're talking, you said which would be the best outcome,
Yeah,
black
majority.
or white.
Yeah.
Okay, the majority, but you're saying it's based off of race.
I'm saying it can
we
be
know
based off of
mostly
race.
in the black community that's what it is. It's single parents.
Exactly. So now if you take that factor out and you say it's not single parents, who do
but
you
we
think?
wouldn't talk about that. We would talk about.
I'm asking you that as the only reason why I'm asking you that, E, is because I want to see if you acknowledge that certain people were raised without getting whooped, right? In certain cultures more than other cultures. In our culture, getting whooped is what? The norm. So guess what? If both parents were in the house and getting whooped is the norm, and it's not on no abuse shit like how, anything is on some abuse shit. It's on some, hey, this is the standards. If you break these lines, this is the punishment type shit, right? Versus how it is already with the norm of white people, right? And how they raise their children, how they, go about disciplinary rules, or you see what I'm saying? Which is, to me, I would think that, especially if the standard is, if you whoop your kid in America, your DCF is going to be involved. So I would think that the majority of them are in both parent relationships, and are, the dad is the disciplinary, mom don't discipline, and dad probably don't whoop them either because they don't. You see what I'm saying?
You probably don't have to.
All I'm saying is, when you take under the consideration that certain kids are liable to do certain things, and you say, yo, but it's not really black people doing this, then race does matter. Because why does this specific race keep on doing this specific thing? Why are these white kids shooting up? Hold on. Why are these white kids shooting up these schools and black kids aren't shooting up schools? They're shooting specific people. So now it's, you see what I'm saying? We'll give all the gang shit to, what they see on social media and what they see and what the rappers do, and we'll put all that on that. I'm talking about, why are the school shootings involved with a little white kid that is depressed or lonely, but he got two parents that love him and they ain't whoop him, or you know what I'm saying? He's straight in life.
You know what? That brings a point that I had with a conversation with somebody yesterday. No, Friday at the rehearsals. He brought up a good point. He said that this young man was acting out of school when he was a security guard. The kid was always acting out, and they had to restrain him. You know what I mean? And he restrained him. The kid would just act up and just go stand in the corner where he was supposed to stand, like routine. You know what I mean? Like, all right, you know what I mean? And he's like, yo, why you just acting out? You want somebody to hug you? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You're not getting love at home, and is that why you're behaving that way? So maybe it is that the mom always yelling at you or whatever when you're coming home, and you're not really getting I love you and appreciate you, giving you a hug, because there are some single parent household kids, especially that grow up that don't be in gangs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? There are some kids like that, but it's because of the cultural barriers with the white community. It's not because their father's not disciplining them or nothing like that, because all of their kids aren't out there shooting up all the schools and stuff like that. That's not what's happening. It is parts of it, but what I'm saying is it looks better when both parents are in the household. regardless.
100%.
The numbers are less. We're losing more people in the streets than they're losing with the school shootings. Like, let's be real. If we gonna keep it a buck, yeah. Once in a while, you got Todd or Jeremiah that freaks the fuck out and then shoots up the school or whatever. But most of the time, it's Day and them that's over there taking cars and shooting each other up and all that stuff. You know what I mean? And it's because they don't have the 2-parent households that the Todds and the Christians have. You know what I mean? They have the house with all the cousins that live there and everything, you know what I mean?
It's not equal for a reason.
You know what I mean? It's broken up that way because they want, the agenda is to separate the black household.
That's it, and that's all I was trying to say. Go ahead.
Well, it was about discipline. I don't know how it got to like 2-parent. Like, yeah,
And
I
it
said
still
that
was discipline.
earlier.
Because the
Still
father
was
is
discipline.
control
Well, can
of
I
discipline.
talk? 'Cause I
Still
was
was
just
No, I'm just
quiet.
saying, you say you didn't know, and I'm telling you, the father is in control of the discipline. But go ahead.
So we were talking about discipline. Like, we already said
Right.
earlier that, or I said how I felt about that you should have a 2-parent household. But are you trying to say that because the black parents whoop their kids, that's why the boy's not shooting up the school because they both doing bad stuff, like you just pointed out?
Right.
No.
He's stealing cars or
Right.
doing whatever,
I'm
and
trying
you
to
doing
say-
that. So that is a factor in both households, regardless if there's 2-parent or one. You still should show
Not if the
love
man
and
is control of the
affection.
discipline.
You
need
still
2-parent
should show
household.
Not
love
if the man
and
is in
affection.
control of
You
the
still
discipline.
need to show love and affection on both sides. That's the problem
Love and
of why
affection
they
isn't
doing
stopping that person. It's
it.
discipline.
It is because you said
It's
he's
discipline.
depressed.
It's discipline. It's not depression.
I think it's
discipline.
not discipline. I think it's
How is it
having
not
That's
discipline?
crazy
I think it's having
because
2-parent
how does
household. I think it's
you're not
having
even
2-parent
letting me
household.
talk,
Bro,
and y'all was
bro,
talking and
if
I was
it's too-
quiet. And
I'm
you
sorry,
won't
but
even
you're-
let me get my
Go
point.
ahead. Say your point.
Discipline does matter. You don't, but it doesn't have to be physical. And just because you beat your kid, I don't mean they're gonna do what you want, because people get whoopings all the time and they still do what you whoop them for. So that's not a guarantee. That just because you did that is gonna work anyway.
So yours is guaranteed?
Can you let me finish? Because I didn't say nothing. So, and then you can't say, because this person's getting a whip, that's why they're doing this. It's both bad behavior, because the other people is 2 parents, but they're probably busy doing something else or whatever and not giving them attention. That's why I said they're depressed and go to school, or maybe they're being bullied and they can't talk to it. They could be being bullied on the other side, or they go join a gang or steal a car in the black community because their mom's working, she don't got time to watch them, and they both could be depressed because they're not getting love at home. Whether it's 2-parent or one, you need both. But discipline, it just, you don't beating your kid is not like gonna guarantee that they're gonna get into submission because you're doing that. I feel like you could talk, if you're doing it from the beginning a certain way, then that could be effective, unless your child has some type of mental illness to where they can't follow direction. And sometimes people cause trauma because of talking to their kids like that and mistreating them or whatever, and make them bipolar and stuff like that, or give them anxiety and stuff. And then when they hear people yelling and screaming, they can't take it, or it's a trigger for them, or they cringe because it brings up bad memories. Like, that's not, and a beating too, because if you hit somebody with something, like, I didn't say it was abuse, like that word was thrown in there, I never used that word, but a belt or an extension cord, what is the difference? It's still an item that you're using to inflict pain because you're mad about that they did something. Because if you weren't mad, you would sit them down and have a conversation and ask them, why are you doing this? What they're doing, if you had a clear mind. You're mad in the moment because you feel embarrassed by whatever they did, or you're mad that they didn't listen to your rule, so now this is what you're going to get. And then often a punishment comes after. It's not just a whipping. They might still get you, put them on punishment or whatever. So that was just to get your anger out, in my opinion.
Okay, all right. So I keep on saying, like, if you're bunching in abuse with spanking, then I'm gonna bunch in having kids when you're not ready, and it's okay to delete them. You see what I'm saying? To me, it's the same thing. If we're saying
You
that,
said the word
hold on,
abuse.
I'll let you cook.
But you
Let me cook.
I'm
I'll let
correcting
you
but
cook.
That's not what I said.
But I couldn't correct you though.
Didn't use
Remember,
the
I couldn't
word
correct
abuse.
her. Okay.
I said you the one who put
Look.
in
I said a lot of things that you didn't say, and I tried to say something, and you said no. Let me cook. So let me cook. All I'm saying is the reason why I'm saying it's the same thing in that same mentality is you're bunching it all together. There has to be a reason why I'm saying that men should be in control of the disciplinary. Like, let's focus on that. The reason why I'm saying that is because the women is control of the nurturing and the compassion, the wisdom, right? So yes, you could be right, but guess what? If your man is telling you no, we're gonna do it this way, and you're going against your man, then guess what? You're going against the family, because it's not about what you think. It's about what is necessary for the family. So if I'm saying to you, then this is just my opinion, but if I'm saying to you, the men is supposed to be in control of the discipline, right? And you're saying, well, I think as a woman, what the discipline should look like. I'm saying you need to rely on the men that you marry for that judgment, because that judgment coming from you would be understandably always going to be, hey, I'm not going the abuse route because I can't understand it. You're feminine. You're not supposed to understand it. But guess what? As a man, we can understand that there is bigger things that can get us out here. So we have to stand up for certain things, even though we don't want to, even though we might risk our lives, even though we might fucking put it all on the fucking table. If we are responsible, we have the say that says, hey, this is how it goes disciplinary wise. Because not to say I don't respect your opinion, not to say you're not even right, because you are right. It should be led with emotional intelligence, and it shouldn't have to lead to this. But what I'm saying is, in a masculine world, there should be masculine consequences, not feminine consequences. It is a feminine consequence to go out there and hurt somebody physically, and then your mother or your parents say, look, I'm going to scold you, and you don't get to watch TV for a week, or you don't get to, guess what? Eye for eye is a real thing. That shit has been around since the Bible days, bro. If you can't meet some type of violence with some type of violence, then guess what? It's disproportional. And at one point, somebody is going to try you. And I seen it all the fucking time. Why you think Lil Jimmy don't got love for his mom? Why you think M can make a whole song talking about his mother? There's reasons why fucking black people don't go out and do that type of situation. It's just because of
his
how
mother
they were.
abused him, though.
That's what I'm saying, Smiley. That's what I'm saying.
Kind of what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm saying. The mother.
Hold
on. The mother abused him how? She drugged him. She did all this wicked shit to him, right? Guess what? We're talking about the black family. And I'm talking about there's a reason why a person is going to go on what's the name, on record and talk about his mama, whether he did him wrong or not. Guess what? Black people love our mamas, right, wrong, or indifferent. Do we not? So even if she's wrong, even if she didn't do it the right way where she was supposed to do it, we're going to give her favor because guess what? Mama know best. But when we get to a certain age, we got to be realistic and be like, well, damn, mama did it wrong. Mama chose wrong. Mama did something wrong. We have to take the accountability that she might never take one day and say, yo, and this is all I'm saying. All I'm saying is, from me looking back, from me seeing how everything played out, if my mama was just in control of the situation, she wouldn't be in control of the situation. Period. There had to be some type of respect thing that I saw that I was like, okay, I got to respect this because this, you know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't going to be just my mama. And that's normal. That's natural. It's not natural to be like, okay, there's no man in the household, but this kid is going to be have the most discipline. No. Those are the kids that aren't looking for fucking marriage and aren't looking for, because they haven't seen that shit. I can't blame them, but those are those kids. Go ahead, E.
I don't mean they haven't seen it. They could have been divorced or whatever. But and you said the man should have the say so about the discipline. There are men that agree with what I'm saying. So my man wouldn't. We would be on the same page. That we're not going to hit our kids. And I don't agree with your statement about the mom. Yeah, you love your mother, but they could still be wrong. So that doesn't mean that's the problem. We condone this bad behavior, and the cycle continues because people say stuff like what that girl said in the video, where they're saying I was beat and I'm fine, no, she said I'm straight, but she's literally not straight because she was a lesbian. But I mean that's a joke. Whatever. I don't have no problem with the LGBTQ community. I think, whatever. I don't think you should mistreat them, and I don't think it's their fault or that they choose to be that way. Like they just are. But people say that all the time, like condoning it and saying like, "Oh, this." I just don't think it's necessary. But like I said, you said you're going against. I wouldn't be going against what my man said because my man would be in agreement with what I'm saying. I would pick a man, and I've heard men say that they don't. There are men that
your stance
that
is
won't beat their kids.
Spirit of rise, spoiled child. Your stance is,
That's not the only form of discipline.
Well, no, but I'm not saying that. When I'm talking about that, I'm talking about the slavery ideology of discipline. I don't agree with that. But I know, like, yeah, I'll have my kids squatting on the wall with their hands out like that, and some football type shit, making them do push-ups, shit like that.
Abuse is abuse, though, Smiley.
That's not abuse.
It is abuse because you're forcing them.
To me, that's not.
There's abuse because
you're
forcing them to do something they don't want to do.
All right, hold on. I'll let you go.
That's abuse. Forcing somebody to do something they don't want to do.
I'll let you explain that. What I'm saying is, my form of discipline would not be anything physical. It would just be using my authority of my child to tell them to do this. And they're going to do what I tell them to do. They're not going to move. I'm going to make sure they're right there. Okay, stay there. You're not going nowhere. And that's what they're going to do. Whether, if you think that's worse than a beating, then fine. All right, fine. But I feel like that's my level of discipline that I would have for a child. It would be more like military type of shit, you know what I mean? To give them some form of consequence, like you said, some form of consequence to doing something. But I don't agree with physical discipline. I really don't. Not with a kid. I feel like it's like bullying. And the only reason I feel that way is because I know like the kid already fears you. The kid probably has seen you act out when you tried not to with another adult and was like, damn, I don't want to end up like that motherfucker that dad had an issue with. You know what I mean? They might have witnessed that. You know what I mean? But for me protecting them, probably, you know what I mean? But they know not to cross that line. But whatever line they do cross, there's consequences for them that they're going to have to deal with. They understand that when they're dealing with me. I feel like it's important to have a 2-parent household. That's my whole thing. It's just like it needs to be enforced that the people stay together. If you fucking with somebody and you get with them, you have a kid, now y'all got to take care of that kid together. Whatever that looks like. If you have to always be there to be in that kid's life, and she can't put up barriers so that you're not able to see your child conveniently. You know what I mean? So it has to work out, within the schedule, or she comes to drop your child off, or you go to pick them up, or whatever works out. But there has to be, a balance, and you both have to be on the same page with the parenting. If that's what's going to happen. If a co-parenting do exist, then there has to be some presence where it looks like this is what a household looks like. But if there's no other person and they're just living like by themselves and you're living by yourself, why can't y'all be together? I think that's the biggest issue. Why not be with the person that you had a kid with? Work out your differences it's bigger than us, right?
It's supposed to be, but
it's about
before you say anything, I just want to say this one thing, just to say, because I will forget it. All I wanted to say is mental abuse isn't abuse. That's all I wanted to say, because it sounded like y'all saying mental abuse isn't abuse. You can mentally tell somebody to do something that they don't want to do. Right, and that's not manipulation.
I know they don't.
That's manipulation, right? So that's mental abuse.
Do we do things that we don't want to do?
Yeah, because we have to work for it.
We have to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But guess what? This
consequence.
Isn't there physical consequences in the world? So there can't be physical punishments? Yo, you gotta make it make sense. If there's consequences and if there's consequences and it's okay to be manipulating somebody mentally to say, yo, I need you to do this just because you respect me, right? That is mental abuse.
I need you to do this
that is
mental.
You
did something wrong.
That's mental abuse.
You don't just make
that's mental abuse
because
that's mental abuse. Guess why?
Okay.
Guess how I know that? Because
right.
At the end of the day, if you think about the military system, just like you said, that they are manipulating your mind to thinking that, yo, I have to be a soldier. I have to turn into a killer, even if I'm not a killer. Guess what? That's what you have to think differently because you can't go in that bitch thinking like you're a civilian.
They have
so
to,
you're mentally.
They have to.
So you're mentally.
They have to harden you.
So you're mentally.
They have to
listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying.
They have to harden you to a harsh
You're mentally
reality.
manipulated. That is a form of abuse. If a man did that to a woman, if he was like, yo, you got to do all this to be with me, guess what? They would call him a fucking sociopath, or they would call him a narcissist, or they would call him this and that. So it's the same thing with fucking kids. Yes, I understand you have to show these kids that, yo, you respect me. You respect your mom. You respect
somebody telling the kid.
I'm saying if you're gonna say you're against abuse, I'm saying if you're saying that physical abuse is abuse, then mental abuse is abuse too. It's the same fucking thing.
Okay.
So you can't say, oh, yo, I'm gonna mentally abuse my kid, but I'm not gonna physically abuse that kid, and it's better this way. It's not better. It's the same thing. It's not better. It's not worse, but it's the same fucking thing. Go ahead, E.
So I don't think that telling your child to do push-ups as a punishment would be considered mental abuse, in my opinion. And we're not saying that's okay, because in that clip that I played when she was saying mothers calling their daughters bitches and stuff when they're upset and when they're mad, that's a form of mental abuse. So that I said I didn't agree with that. But I don't think telling them to do push-ups is considered mental abuse. If they did something wrong, you're not just telling them to do it because you're getting a thrill out of it.
So what is
you're
mental
telling
abuse?
them.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to.
You're telling them to do something as a punishment because they did something wrong. So you're letting them know this is what happens when you do this, so that hopefully they don't do it again. And I also think the punishment should fit the crime. For example, like if your kid says a bad word and they're old enough to write, I think you should make them write a paper. I will not say this word. I will not say this word like 500 times or something. So the next time you say it, you're going to have to write that paper or something. And then it could escalate from there. And obviously, the goal is to prevent them from harming someone, because you mentioned that earlier. Like if they go harm someone, you could sit them down and talk to them. The problem is you're supposed to be preventing them from doing that, but it doesn't have to be by physically putting your hands on them if you start that from the beginning. Then they wouldn't be out doing stuff like that. And if you're doing all the other things you need in addition to disciplining them properly, then by statistic wise, they wouldn't end up being that person that's going to harm someone or do something like that. You will hope that if you whoop them that you won't, but people get whooped and they still do that too. So
I think if you know your kid and if you know your parenting style, then you know if what you're doing is affecting your kid negative or positive. You know instantly. You see what I'm saying? Because you'll see it. You'll see it. And if your kid is on the better side of the world, at least if they're, you know what I mean, they don't have to be the perfect kid, but if your kid is a happy kid, loves other kids, you know what I mean, can make friends easy type shit, you know you good. There's a lot of kids that you could just look at them and just know that they had a effed up life. You see what I'm saying? And all I'm saying is,
but
I don't think
assume that by doing that you don't think that that's creating some type of damage, and maybe for some it won't, or for the people. But a lot of time when people say, oh, there's nothing wrong with me, my parents did, not even just putting hands on it, my parents did this or my parents said that and I'm fine, those be the main people that be saying that. Not all the time, but a lot of the
I mean,
people
but
that
what
be saying
constitutes
that.
fine then? E? If they're saying they're fine and you don't believe them, then what constitutes fine?
I mean, well, that girl, we know your opinion about the LGBTQ.
Yeah, but that's my opinion.
Said, okay, but
her opinion is she's fine with herself.
But is that true based on your
Yes,
opinion?
it's true because she's happy with herself. If she wasn't happy with herself, it wouldn't be true. But if she's saying she's happy with herself, it's my ego that thinks I could put my judgments upon her and say, yo, because I don't like her lifestyle, I don't think she's good. Guess what? I'm going to say, yo, I don't like your lifestyle, but if she's fine with it, I'm fine with it. So if
they're a serial unaliver and they think they're okay, then that's okay because they think that, right?
No, that's going to be, hey, you're wrong because you're affecting more than just you, motherfucker. That's what that is. That's how you feel about no, because she's not affecting nobody but her. She said she's fine. But that's how I feel about that. So you understand? I'm gonna let somebody.
From previous conversation, you think that is affecting because you have a problem with it because you said it's gonna stop people from populating if everybody's like that. We've had conversations about
Check this out.
So you think it's affecting?
But check this out. Abuse made her become like that.
I'm saying by his.
Hold on,
logic,
let me speak though.
Because by my logic, she's okay, but you don't think that's okay by your opinion.
Check this out.
You don't want that to be your experience with your child.
But that's different from her saying she's fine with her lifestyle. Do you understand that? She's saying, listen to what I'm saying though, E.
People have to be in agreement with.
Listen to what I'm saying.
For it to be right.
She said that she was fine. Listen,
like
she said that she was fine.
A 10, other people have to agree and say you're a 10 too. You can't just call yourself
that's
a 10.
Cool, but that's popularity contest, and some people are gonna choose. That's your logic. That's your logic. That's not my logic. My logic is different. My logic says just because. Hold on. Yo, let me call you right back. All right. My logic says, just because I'm telling you, oh, I don't like your lifestyle, doesn't mean that you could wake up, say, hey, I'm fine today, and I'll be like, okay, they're fine today. You see what I'm saying? I can differentiate or I can separate, yes, I don't like your lifestyle, but if you're happy, then that I'm happy for you. That's the type of person I am. So just because I'm not cool with her lifestyle doesn't mean that she says, hey, I'm fine, and I'll be like, okay, she's fine.
So why can't
you know why? You know why I say that? You know why I say that? And I say it like I said last time. I don't project what I think what people should do on them. I have my opinion about that, but that's my opinion. That doesn't say you can't do what you fucking do, because you're going to do whatever the fuck you do. I can't change that. All it is my judgment. You're saying because I judge her for her lifestyle that I can't say that she's fine mentally? No, she is fine mentally because she says she's fine mentally. I don't know her like that. If she says she's happy, I got to take her word for it. Yeah. I can't do no detective work and be like, just because she has this lifestyle, she can't be a happy person. I can't do that.
Now look, a hairstylist dragged a girl out of the fucking hair salon.
That's wild.
By her hair.
No, by her
because
hood.
Because she didn't by her hood, I'm sorry. Because she didn't pay her bill. She was trying to leave without paying her bill.
Shit.
Now,
so what happened?
Now, what do we think? Now she got disciplined.
But let me let me say the whole
hard way.
Apparently, she called her brother after she was finished. He was supposed to CashApp the girl.
She didn't.
They sent it to the wrong person allegedly, but she was like, "What that guy?" She told them the thing. They didn't show it to her before they sent it. They just sent it to who they thought it was. And she's like, "Okay, but." You could cancel it, but still, she want her money. Like,
right.
So the girl calling people, she on the phone, and another client come in, and then she tried to slither away, and she caught her walking up the stairs. She ran out the door, and she pulled her by her hood and dragged her back in.
Damn.
And she said, sit right there and call somebody, or you gonna let me cut it out because I told you, like, you're not about to. You lucky I don't.
Well, that was masculine in itself. Like, you see what I'm saying? Just off some shit. Like, you shouldn't be fighting anyway as a woman. So if you're fighting as a woman, that's already like, come on, man. You know what type of people you dealing with. But in her defense, like, yo, that other girl should have knew what type of girl she was dealing with, because apparently that wasn't the first time she went to her. So yeah, like you thought you was gonna get over on her, and
she beat somebody else up before, right?
See, that's what I'm saying.
They tried to
she don't play that. So at the end of the day, you know.
And the girl called the cops.
I'm pretty sure she's gonna get some type of time for that.
But she signed a contract that said she was 18 though. So she thought she was 18, but the girl is 15. The girl that
now you be a minor.
Oh,
okay. So yeah, so now she's in trouble. I mean, that's sad.
Beat her up. I mean, but she did get charged with 2nd-degree assault or something.
Yeah, that could be kidnapping too. She dragged her out her store. You see what I'm saying? It's just crazy.
But, I mean, but that's
free
not
her,
right.
yo.
She shouldn't have.
She shouldn't have put her hands on her, but still, like.
No, I'm saying she didn't have to put her hands on her, but she shouldn't have tried to run out on the bill.
Yeah, 100%.
She needed some straightening.
But that's what I mean. Some people don't fear consequences. Like, they just don't fear that shit. Like, they don't care.
She'll never do that again.
We hope.
A DoorDash courier brought orders in the bathroom prior to delivery.
Nah, that was deliberate.
And a lady in the manager in the store told him, "Don't bring that." Yeah. It was Jersey Mike's, I think. Yeah. They said, "Don't bring that in the bathroom."
He's like, "No, I'm gonna bring it."
I guess he had to use the bathroom before he left.
Yeah, but if they could have left it at the
place. And then
place.
she called DoorDash and try to tell them, like, oh, can you cancel this order? Or we'll make the food over. That's not a problem. But I think that's very unsanitary. Like, could you let the person know what happened?
Yeah, because they could have unwrapped it.
They said they can't get in contact with them.
They could have did dirt to that. They might have knew that person.
Just grab it when you left.
Because they could have knew that person. The other day, I thought some nigga got me. I was like, yo, he was on a bike, right? First, he takes a picture and there's nothing there, right? So I'm like, but then I came outside and I don't think he thought I was gonna come outside. So he was like, oh, let me go lean my bike on the tree because I can't, hold it. And I'm like, nigga, you could put that shit right on your hip, grab the fucking food and pass it to me. So he goes behind the tree. He's over there fumbling and shit. I walk up. All of a sudden, he miraculously has my bag. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck was you trying to do to my shit, nigga? Tree. He went because there was a tree, right? First, he takes the picture and the food's not there. The food is in his fucking bike, right? He has his bike with him, walks up to the curb, and he was like, oh, let me go lean my bike on the tree, which is all the way, down a little sidewalk and shit. So I'm like, all right, whatever. He goes over there, and he's over there fumbling in this shit. I'm like, what the fuck? As soon as I come out there, he finds the bag, and then he finds
He took a picture of your shit. It was like lunch break.
That's why, I think he was gonna eat my shit, yo. Because niggas be doing that shit. When I used to work for DoorDash, I used to do that shit. I didn't always. Nah. Let me clear that up. I didn't always do that shit. When I couldn't find the address, I would eat the food.
The bag. He had a stapler.
That's crazy. I don't do that.
Your fries.
I don't do that. That's fucked up.
I'm like, I ain't never. If I ever see you delivering my food,
if I ever see two doubles, I'll be like, yo, hell no. There's a whole nother staple on this shit. I don't like that.
Yo, did y'all hear about ASAP Rocky and Rihanna speaking about relationship?
I just heard about it now. Yo, that shit's so crazy to me. That shit's so crazy. There's always a situation with a blazing pop star that, gets with somebody that other people don't think that he's worthy, or other people clowning this shit, but it's really hate, because it's like, yo, you you got Rihanna. There's a lot of people like Rihanna, and then he cheats on her with a girl that doesn't look as good in
Asian doll,
in our opinions. And we all agree with that, right? She doesn't look as good as
Asian doll. Come on.
So
is that's what most important?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. 100%.
She hit you with that.
Yes, because at that point you're already a rapper. You already could get baddies. You already could get, what I'm saying?
At least cheat up.
If you're gonna cheat on this person at this point of your career,
always cheat up.
You gotta cheat up, because now it's like you're going back down.
Beyonce, Jessica Alba.
I don't even think you could do better than that.
You gotta get $1 billion.
I don't think ASAP would do better than that. You know what I'm saying? It will always be down because
Ariana Grande a billionaire, right?
Nah, but she weird though.
He could get her.
I don't think he wanted her. Big Sean said she crazy. I don't know, and I believe Big Sean.
Weeknd won her.
The Weeknd is crazy though. You see his show? True. That nigga is crazy. His show was wild. Did the kids see that shit? That shit was wild. I don't know. But
I mean, I don't know. Men cheat, but I don't think men cheat. We talk about him because he's a celebrity, but men always cheat with ugly women or somebody that they cheat and just they're not cheating for a relationship. Usually, I mean, in some cases they'll leave the woman for the other woman, but it usually doesn't happen like that. So,
but it's got to be a reason.
She's younger than her,
and then
younger, maybe younger, yeah. She and I guess the claim was
she probably doesn't want to be
she's
with
too
her.
busy.
Just smashing. Oh well, there you go. She's too busy.
She's always away
her
on
career,
the road, and
Asian Doll's career is not that. It's not.
He can't always go. He got to stay in the crib with all the kids. He a stay-at-home dad.
But wasn't that because of his court shit?
She was already all over the world.
All I'm saying is
she's supporting you while you about to get locked up. That's why he with Asian Doll. I forgot about that part.
That's crazy.
Asian Doll with that. You see who her ex was, and he ain't here with no more. Rest in peace, Vaughn. Like so.
You know what I think happened? I think that she expressed to him. This is just my opinion. But I think that she expressed to him that she might not wait for this nigga if he don't win this shit. And I don't think he was feeling that. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Well, like for you to be like,
it made sense, and not that he's just a man and men cheat.
I do believe men cheat, but I just believe that.
Why it gotta be a conspiracy?
I don't think it's a conspiracy.
She could have said that.
I don't think it's a conspiracy. I'm just saying that
because the coochie being put on a pedestal.
It could have been, but I'm just saying. To me, it makes more sense that he heard something or saw something that he was like, damn, like she really got me fucked up.
For you, because you don't cheat, right? But
not even you don't cheat.
No, because you said you don't.
I'm just saying, as a man that does
that wouldn't
cheat.
Apply to everyone.
No, I'm saying as a man,
cheat with who they could cheat with.
Look,
they
as a man,
and they not trying to be with.
I understand that, Eve, but as a man that does cheat, right? If he feels like he's a good, like Wiz Khalifa, right? He's a man. He got caught cheating with Amber Rose, but I honestly, in my heart, feel like, matter of fact, not even just honestly in my heart, Wiz has even gone out to say there is a whole different story that she's not telling you about what she might have did or what he might have saw
but still, it's the same
from her.
Situation. It's pedestalizing the pussy.
I mean, you could look at it like that. I'm just saying, on the other side,
Kim Kardashian, Beyonce, Rihanna,
it's not that deep. He's
Alicia Keys.
He didn't say
they all have one thing in common. What? They're all women, right? Mm-hmm. So the fact of the matter is, they're gonna get with a guy that's somewhat or semi-successful. That guy's gonna have options. They're gonna not want to blow him one day. Pause. Or maybe they're not gonna want to do something one day or whatever, and they got all these options. You're not gonna wet your beak a little bit? You really that much of a saint that you're not gonna be like, yo.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't that deep. It's just the fact they want another vagina, and that's as simple as that.
Look at Neo. Neo's living his truth.
Nigga could have.
Everybody upset. Like everybody, like yo, like. I didn't know it wasn't legal to have.
So look at how, but my thing with that is, look at how much money you have, bro. If you just wanted to wet your beak, you would have just bought something. She would have never said nothing because you would have paid for her services to not say nothing, and you would have been good. Yeah, she might have found out.
So you think that's
with some
better?
Detective work? Yes, 100%. I think that's fucking better than losing Rihanna. Like, yo, bro, you're wildin'.
I don't think the problem in the situation of what Rihanna would be upset about is if it was I feel like she would be more upset if you slept with a prostitute than someone that you
If she
actually know
If
and
she
just
knew.
were attracted
If
to
she
it
knew,
in the
she
moment.
shouldn't have
or
found
If
whatever.
out.
she knew, she wouldn't have found out if it was a prostitute. This is what I'm saying. It's the likelihood of her finding out is a prostitute.
He probably thought.
Depending on her
Are you
service.
sure? Look at who we're talking about. He's a celebrity. She
probably
might
thought
have come
it was
out.
low.
It's
That's
called
not
NDAs.
true.
It's called NDAs.
That's if
you can get
he
sued.
That's if he had the
you-
wherewithal to sign it.
I'm just
Or
saying,
whatever.
like,
Yeah,
yo,
you
you're
present
not
her
gonna
with
go.
one. You a celebrity. She might have come out and still told. So there's no guarantee that just because if he paid for it, and that would have been an even bigger scandal. It would have been look more crazy.
And of course
if
she
paid
probably
for
want to
it.
highlight herself.
Because people frown on that,
oh,
especially
I got
when you don't
Rihanna,
have
man.
to.
You gotta get caught.
It's if you don't have a choice or something like that, and that's different. But if you get
The ref gotta see
chicks
that
for
file.
free, then why a man not gonna
Because
not
you
gonna
don't
pay for
want to
that? That's-
fumble the bag, because you don't want to get
But
caught.
that's
You're
not-
paying.
that's
You're not
not-
paying. You're not just paying for the sex. You're paying for her confidentiality. And this is what I'm saying. He could have moved in a different way where nobody found out, or there was at least a least likelihood chance of everybody finding out.
How did
In
it come
this
out?
way,
Did she say it?
regardless on how it came out, it's a celebrity.
That's relevant.
And not just it's a celebrity. You're right, it is relevant. Not just that it's a celebrity alleged of not liking Rihanna, right? So they already don't like each other because of whatever the fuck.
That's like
happened.
that girl from Baby Boy.
You see what I'm
work at her
saying?
job.
But that's
if
what
he-
I'm saying. Who said? Where did it come from? Did she come out and say it? Because
I
if
don't
you
know.
can't use that argument and say, "Oh, if he slept with a prostitute," that because we don't even know if she's the one who leaked
Right.
it. Maybe they were seen out somewhere and somebody took pictures
Look,
and
if
they
it's
posted it
confirmed,
online or
if
something.
it's out there, if there's no publicist saying no, this is
He could have been
completely.
taking a
Hold
picture
on,
with
let
a
me finish.
prostitute, too. You
If
don't
there,
know where it came
hold
from.
on, let me finish. If there was no evidence out that said, yo, this dude was having sex with Cash Doll, what's her name?
Asian
Asian
doll.
doll.
Oh, don't be
Excuse
disrespecting
me,
Cash
Cash
Doll.
Doll. I
They
respect Cash
beefing
Doll.
too. That's
She looks
another
See,
thing.
because of the dolls and
So,
shit.
Asian allegedly tried to pew at Cash Doll because Cash Doll was on
Why
Shay
you want a
Shay.
chick like
Cash
that?
That's
Doll-
what I'm
listen,
saying.
Cash Doll, because
This seem like
he's about
some-
to go
this
to
seem-
jail. Don't you see? That goes
no.
hand in hand.
This
Like,
seem-
but
this seem-
listen,
this seem like-
because Cash Doll was on Shake Club Shay Shay, and she was like, I'm the only doll. I'm the original doll. Like these other women, because Club Shay Shay brought it up. Like he was like, oh, there's other dolls.
He had her up there.
Asian doll, Cuban doll. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just seen the clip. But yeah, Asian doll, Cuban doll, and your Cash Doll, and then he Dream Doll or whatever. And she was like, I'm the original doll. Everybody know. Like she was like, I hate when they to be put in a category with the other doll when I'm the one who started this or something along those lines. So then Asian doll came out and was like, B, you wanted to hang with us. Me and Cuban wasn't even dealing with you because you was old or whatever, and you ain't never have a problem with us. Say what it really is. You got a problem with Dream Doll because you feel like Dream Doll wasn't really a rapper. She had another occupation, and then she started rapping. So you felt like, but you never had a problem with me or Cuban. So don't start now or whatever. So then Cash Doll went on, had a performance, and she came on stage and she was talking in the beginning before she performed, and she was like, and when I see that beat, I'm a smacker. And then everybody was like, woo, the crowd goes crazy.
Over the beat.
So then allegedly Asian Doll tried to pew.
That's crazy. See, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Like, yo, that shit ain't cute. And if you are looking for that type of woman, as for ASAP Rocky, then my nigga, you're probably gonna end up in jail. You're probably gonna end up, because that's the energy that she got around.
Because he like that music, like make that ass that, make that ass that. Well, you know, he like that music.
I mean, shit.
She trash though. She trash.
I just
She
pray.
got so she don't even be, she be talking gangster.
Oh, she gangster.
Stuff. Like
She
that's
came
the
on
type of
female
music she makes.
version.
She don't be
What y'all
having.
think?
I'm saying, yeah, she don't. Cause he said make that ass clap. I don't know. Maybe she do got a song like that, but the stuff I heard from her was like talking. You know, like it was some gangster.
ASAP do got a darker side though. He got like I remember earlier videos.
Oh, you was talking about ASAP music, made that ass clap. I like some of ASAP.
Nah, me too. I'm just saying he has like a dark.
Well, I'm saying
undertone.
ASAP, like I don't know, like
I know it's the South Side shit. But
he had really, mad kids. Did he have kids before he had a kid with Rihanna?
No, this is his first batch.
Wow. Yeah, they got 2.
That's what I'm saying. I heard it was 3.
It's just crazy.
3 kids.
Yeah.
That's what's scrappy.
He be carrying them in a papoose and shit.
That's what I'm saying. It's crazy, yo.
Yo, but he fumbled it back. Yo, Kendra G mocks a male SA victim.
Well, what he came on there and said. He said that she asked the question. She was like, "Do you have any kids?" Like, yeah, I have 1 or whatever. And then she was like, "Why you not with the?" These are normal questions. Why you not with the mother or whatever? And he was like, "She trapped me." And then she was like, "So you're saying you were raped?" And I'm like, he didn't say that. He said she trapped him. So now you're asking him. No, but that's not the word that he used. What I'm saying. He let me finish.
I'm sorry.
And then he said that later on in the conversation too. That I did not say that. You brought it up, and now you're trying to. Because she basically trying to say you a 6'4" man. How you gonna let? Because apparently he said they were in the midst of intercourse. He was about to finish. He was on top. And she knew he was about to finish. He tried to get up, and she wrapped her legs around him. So
she said crane lock.
So then
tired.
And then he was like, all right, now you need to take a plan B or whatever. And she was like, no, I'm not doing it. So he said she trapped him, but that could also be considered rape because at the moment when he tried to stop and you wrapped your legs around him, you forcing him to do something now that he don't want to do. At that moment, he withdrew his consent. And it would be the same in reverse if it was a woman. It doesn't matter if you were already doing it or whatever. I get it. That sounds crazy or it might be hard to stop. But if you're doing it, even though they consented in the beginning, they tell you to stop, then you should have stopped when they let them stop or let them get up. That would be the same like if a chick was on top and she's like, you tell her that, it's about to happen and then you grab her hips and hold her down so she can't get up. Like, it's the same scenario. And that's, even though you agreed in the beginning, you could say at any moment that you don't want to do it no more and then you should stop. So if it was a woman, it would have been looked at differently. She never would have treated him like that. She said any woman that would be interested in him is a goofy because she said you weren't great. You sitting up here saying that, and when he didn't even say that from the beginning, you added that word, and now you're trying to tell him he's a liar. Like, that's Kendra. I don't know what's going on with you.
She crashing out, yo.
I do. It's just like Corey Holcomb said. She's not who she claims to be. She's a fraud. And like she's being exposed. Like, you can't give opinions on people if you don't got your shit together. Look at what happened to Wendy Williams. God bless her soul. You don't think there's a reason why she? Yeah, but look at her, the condition that she is. You see what I'm saying? That shit ain't no coincidental shit, bro. You can't put that energy out on people.
Wendy, she passed away?
No, just look at her condition is what I'm saying. Like, yo, she's like, you know what I mean?
Because you said God rest her soul.
Yeah, because God rest her soul. Like,
usually when I hear somebody say that, that's because they not here no more. That's
she's still here, but
she's sick. Yeah. But they said that was alcohol afflicted, and this guy said she's doing better. He's been talking to her on the phone for hours.
I think she is better, but
and they're holding her because they got that conservatorship.
Exactly, and I think that is to get control of her royalties. And her access to her money, because if she can't control it, then guess who has to? You see what I'm saying?
Kendra G, wow.
Speaking of royalties, yeah, she is wrong for that. Journey Smollett. She's an actress. Her and her siblings started their career very young.
Remember the nigga that lied that said he had the noose around his neck?
I know him.
That's his brother.
But which one is Journey? Which one is that? Is that the one that?
Have you seen that Tyler Perry movie when they were married and she gave him she slept with this celebrity?
I think I know.
And
she
he
played
got
a role bounce.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's Journey. And she's married, she getting a divorce, and her husband is trying to get he getting bad money. I forgot the amount, but he want child support. I don't know why they getting a divorce. I think she filed, but he asking for bad money. Like he trying to
is it a black guy?
They're both celebrities. He's a musician.
He a black
and
guy?
he's worth more than she. I mean, that's not
Really?
that's an asset. I don't mean that's how much
She
he
was
got
in Mass. She was in Eve's
intangible,
Bayou.
but
She was
yeah.
in Mad
And so
movies.
listen, because you said royalties, he trying to get the royalties her since she been acting since she was 3 years old. That he wasn't even with her, but she probably just started getting the money because you know you don't get that right away. It's royalties, so that's from over time or whatever. But like maybe she started getting the money when they was together, so he might be able
This
to.
guy did her dirty?
Yeah, that's her.
Damn.
Nigga.
What is that? I look like one of the Wayans.
I don't know him. I didn't even know she was married, and they have a child too.
Yeah.
Orlando Wayans.
That's
Nah, but what do you think about that? And women do this all the time. I don't think that when you separate and when you get a divorce, I don't think nobody, man or woman, should be responsible for the other one, unless if there was like a stay-at-home mom, but up until a point.
I'm okay
not
if it's mutual.
Forever.
I'm okay if it's mutual.
Why you get
If
that
it's not, if it don't work both ways, then I'm not with it. I'm not with the dude always having to pay out and the woman always getting blessed.
That's
I'm not okay with the woman having to pay out and the dude getting blessed unless they both get the same penalty. Like, all right, shit, you come in with nothing, you leave with nothing. Or you come in with this, all right, so you want to do some wild shit, whoever fuck up the relationship, now they got to pay a penalty for it. Because you made this in court. So I think it should work both ways, but like,
I think the only time you should be expected to take care of the person, and it should only be for a period of time, is if they were a stay-at-home mom or dad, and so they didn't have, so they did, I know, so they didn't have work. They weren't working. They were a stay-at-home parent. That's the only, but up until a period of time, like say 6 months. Payment of a certain amount, a reasonable amount, not nothing crazy for you to get on your feet. You better go to school or go find you a job, get some skills, enough time for you to do that, and it's going to be enough money for you to start over, and you're not going to be getting no money every month. And if it's a child, we're going to take care of the child together. It shouldn't be no child support anyway. I don't agree with that. You paying the government. You're not just paying for your kid. And then even with marriage and divorce, you got to pay to be in a relationship and pay to get out to somebody else that's not even a part of your relationship. Like, it's crazy. Like, I don't think that, no. Why am I taking care of a grown adult? Or why should a man have to take care of a grown adult if you're not with them no more? You're not responsible for them. You're only responsible for the child you created together. And if the relationship is over, they lose the benefits of whatever they got when they was in the relationship. That's the chance you take when you let that go. You don't get to not have me no more, but you could still have my assets and what I provided you when we were together. Unless you want to do that and you okay with it, then whatever. But I don't think that should be like that in no circumstance.
I agree.
Besides the one that I said.
I agree with both of y'all on that because I just feel like that's not fair, and it's like it's simple math. Like, yo, if it's not fair, then just don't do it. Like, yo, especially if both of y'all aren't hurting financially. You see what I'm saying? The only reason why you would do that or pursue that is to be vindictive. You're just upset about you're emotionally unintelligent. You know what I'm saying? And you go into these divorces and you're trying to be vindictive. Well, I'm gonna get something out of this because I wasted all my time.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That ain't shit but your ego at the end of the day. You gotta get over that shit eventually.
This is how I feel like.
Because you gotta raise a kid.
You get married to somebody, you gotta fucking really consider being with this person for the rest of your life. Like, why are you
not no more?
Why are you like, all right, oh, this person leave pubic hair on the soap. I gotta leave them. I don't know. Like, I don't know. But like, it just be like irreconcilable differences.
It'd be dumb shit, bro.
You know what I mean? What's the reason that we're breaking up? And it's no reason that we're breaking up. It's just you just don't live here no more.
He won't go to therapy with me.
And I feel like that is something you gotta work on, yo. Like, yo, but you could do that. But you should do that. If that's an alternative to keep y'all together, absolutely.
But there's a lot of motherfuckers that won't. And you can't force that motherfucker to do that.
Listen,
so
if
you
it's
need
gonna
to
save
marry
your
somebody.
relationship,
All I'm saying is,
if you care about if you marry somebody,
right.
you gotta consider all the variables.
But all I'm saying is, if you marry somebody, do you have to take into account, would you go to therapy if our marriage was at jeopardy? Because if you didn't ask that question, then you don't know. You don't fucking know.
If they say no, then that's
what I'm saying. You gotta take that. Yeah. A lot of people will hear the fucking answer and still be like, well, I could change them. Like, no, you can't. No, you can't. Let that person be who they are. Because they're always going to resort to being who the fuck they are. If that person is a flirt, then guess what? You dealing with a flirt for the rest of your fucking life. You see what I'm saying? If that person is a creep, that you dealing with a creep for the most of your, you know what I mean? It's like whoever they are, you got to trust them to be who they are, my nigga, because they're not going to let themselves down. They're always gonna be, especially when they don't think nobody's watching. Especially they don't think somebody is watching them do what they do. You see what I'm saying? You ever walk in on somebody in their element and you're be like, yo, this motherfucker, I don't even recognize this person. Right. They not like this. You see what I'm saying? It would be like the equivalent of me knowing Smiley outside of like the 9-to-5 force, and then I go into the office and I see my nigga Smiley in the office and shit, and he's, you know, got the tie on or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, he's in his element. Like, I don't even know who this person is. And it's the same shit, yo.
Look, I have a clip. What do y'all think about this?
With a new prison that allows inmates to serve years of their sentence in just a matter of minutes. So the criminals is gonna have a choice to spend tens of years behind bars, or they can make the choice to get the artificial memory implanted into their brain. So this process is called cognify. They make us super soldiers. Like a patient. They're gonna try to change the person's brain chemistry. After this process, when they re-enter society, they will be new and reformed, and they won't even be capable of committing any other crime.
Because you're robots.
The chip can make the patient feel empathetic. Depending on the severity of the crime, the chip can also make you feel the emotional and physical pain of the victim and the family members. You can feel what they feel. So the process only takes about 7 minutes. But to the patient, it seemed like it had been years.
That can make them hate themselves. They're gonna kill each other. They're gonna unalive themselves. It's about to be crazy.
They say with this new prison, they can save money for health care, education. Also, they feel that it will be
what about
so
private prisons that need people like that? You don't think they're gonna be taking them to do other research? You think it's all gonna be that? Like, yo, bro, it's about to get crazy out here.
That's like Tales from the Hood. Remember Crazy K? Well, that
was
rest in peace to him. Lamont Bentley. I think
he just died?
No, he didn't just die.
Oh, he been died. Oh, okay, my bad. But yeah, that's crazy as fuck. Cause you know why? It's changing the memories and the brain activity of humans. If they can do that to change, to reform, they're gonna do that on test runs on, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's about to be crazy.
That's crazy.
And then there's no telling what memories that they could put in there. They could be like, yo, you're really from another race.
Or what else they could do besides mess with your memory.
This is what I'm saying. They could convince you to think that you're an alien. Mm-hmm. And then they could make a whole bunch of a hoax alien thing, which is really just
it could
control
be used for good too, though.
I mean, it
Why
could
they not trying to use it for
if
good?
If it works,
because
it's
America.
Because
it's America,
to make
bro.
people smarter. To I don't know, make people be able to really like some Matrix shit. That sounds like the Matrix.
But that's what I'm saying. If you remember the Matrix, that shit all leads to destruction because we end up getting too confident in our capabilities. It's like we're not God, bro. We're not God. And then the people that think they are God and they think that we could take this technology to wherever the fuck it wants to go, they're basically waiting for them to be proven wrong that the shit isn't going to go left.
Living in a simulation.
Not even living in a simulation.
But they had this idea. When did Tales from the Hood come out? They probably already been testing this on people, on prisoners and stuff like that.
That's what I believe. 100%.
And then they could use the C19 to cover it up. Fast forward, like
or the Neuralink. Or the Neuralink.
Say, oh, this is what they really have, but y'all did something to them.
But just like we was talking about this shit last pod, wasn't we? With Elon Musk having, or a few pods ago, where Elon Musk had it, where blind people was able to see with the Neuralink, or paraplegic people.
Yeah, he was paraplegic. He couldn't.
So they're doing.
And he couldn't move, but he was able. He still couldn't walk, but he was able to control the computer or do something with his. Like, think about it.
His phone.
Click on
they're
stuff.
doing handicapped people, and now they're doing prison people. You see what I'm saying? You don't think that they're doing people that they shouldn't be doing?
Employees in some country, you scan your wrist, they put the chip. It ain't called a Neuralink, but they already was
it's
doing
already
that.
A chip inside you that makes you half human.
You can
little
get it
bit.
in your car, like
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. We're about to see some real wild shit, and I want y'all to understand that the further we go into technology is the further away we go from what's natural. Just understand that.
woman paid. This is the last topic that we have for tonight. Or unless y'all have
Nah, I'm
something
good.
else.
I gotta work tomorrow.
All right. Woman paid $20,000 to bail her man out. Then he, I don't know what he was in prison for or what he was arrested for. And then when he got out, he unalived her.
Is there more waters over here? I get a water here.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, that sounds crazy.
That is crazy. Man.
How you bail him out? How you bail him out and he do that?
No home training, bro.
Like she really loved that dude, yo. $20K. Like this is so many. Like I don't know a lot of context about it, but there's so many elements in that. Like
this is a deeply disturbing story about Erika Jones.
What if she bailed him out and found out?
Ended tragically after she paid a $20,000 bail for her husband. Less than a week before Kevin Reynolds murdered the mother of his child, Erika Jones, and her sister, Jaleesa Harris.
And her
was
sister.
bailed out of jail by Jones herself.
She did pay to have him removed from jail.
Sadly, and it's hard to hear, is the victim in this case wanted to bring her boyfriend home, and 6 days later, that man took her life as well as the life of her sister. It's all happening
That's
in
crazy.
this third floor.
Wow, double.
People in this neighborhood still saddened, upset by what happened. Others saying it didn't need to happen. What makes this story even more unsettling is that Erika's 22-year-old stepsister, Jaleesa Walls Harris, was also found dead under the kitchen table in the same house. Initially, her husband, Kevin Reynolds, had been arrested and held in jail without bond due to the severity of the crimes he had committed. Despite pressure on the judge to set a $5,000 bond, he ultimately decided on a $20,000 bond, which was paid, leading to Kevin's release. To understand the people involved in this shocking story, let me provide their background.
That's just sad. It doesn't make no sense. That's crazy. That's your husband, and then she loved him. She bailed him out, and then you do this. And I wonder what he was arrested for. Because it said it was severe charges, but it's not saying what it is.
But for $20,000?
And did they catch him?
I don't know.
They must have thought that he didn't have that $20,000 because $20,000 is crazy for a severe.
Yeah, that's
and she
low.
put it up. Like I'm trying to think. Like why?
Yeah, and where she
what would
low,
make him?
but it's also where you get $20.
Right.
Because it's low, but just to have
There's
that
more
on
than-
hand.
there's more than the
So
story.
he must be in the streets. Because what did he get arrested for?
She knew where his stash
She-
was or something.
She used his stats to get him out.
She
Yo.
probably took some of that money too.
Yeah.
That's
There's
what-
probably more in there.
Damn.
Look at us, Nancy Drew in it.
He came there. He was like,
I mean,
he
'cause it
came
makes
there.
sense.
He was like,
No,
B,
dude.
where my money at? Or whatever. And she was like, what you talking about? I took it out to get
Yo,
you
that's
out.
crazy.
And he's like,
how
no.
that makes sense.
B,
though.
it was
it's
more in
than
there
this.
than that. Where
Yo,
the
that
essence
shit
the rest
feel
of it?
right. That's
All right,
crazy.
but sorry. Our
Nah,
rest in
no,
peace.
it's
My
a crazy-
condolences
it's
to
a
the
crazy
family.
story,
We shouldn't be.
but it still
Sorry,
still
shouldn't
says to the fact of the naivete of the situation.
Mhm.
Like if they do, and they didn't even speak of children in this, but if that was her, maybe it wasn't kids
it was
involved.
Her husband.
Her husband?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't know if they had kids, but he did say that was her
You
husband.
bail him out, yo. Like, for that to happen is just crazy.
It's crazy.
Regardless of how it happened or why it happened, it's just like, yo, he took all of this, got you out, whatever it took to do it, they did it, got you out, and you wasn't gracious about it. In return for that,
too.
He killed his sister
He
too.
probably,
Like,
they probably both took some of them, but they were spending it
probably in
together.
it's nasty work, man. I don't know, man.
That sucks, yo.
And it's just crazy. It's really about like, yo, like, what are people looking for when they get in these relationships? Like, you get with somebody like that, and then, like, I remember the story. The lady won the lottery, bailed her man out of prison. She won the lottery again, and bailed him out again, and he cheated on her and some shit. It's crazy. So I don't know. I think people need to be more aware of who they're selecting, and they need to vet a lot better for these circumstances. I mean, we can't help what happens. Like, if you're with somebody and, you know, mitigating circumstances occur and they end up getting jammed up in a situation, hopefully it's something that could be avoided. But if it's something that couldn't be avoided and something unfortunate happens to a person that you care about, then yeah, that's different. This person never caused you no harm. This person protected you. This person did all that. But to put yourself in a situation like that, like, it's like you really don't have a really high self-worth for yourself. And I think that's the problem with a lot of our communities. Like, we just see examples of how us not having a real solid family or upbringing really is detrimental to us, yo. And it affects all of us. Because now this is what? Another 2 young sisters that could have been avoided.
Yeah.
Umar Johnson. Now he got kids out here that's not being taken care of, but advocating for nuclear families.
Yeah, that's kind of.
I mean, it's crazy, but then it's like if we want change, we got to do it. We can't rely on, you know, all these actors and celebrities to do it. You know what I mean? We know what's wrong. We know what's right. And that's all I speak on. I speak on a perspective of like, all right, it wasn't okay for Will Smith to smack the shit out of Chris Rock. And it wasn't okay for Chris Rock to disrespect his wife, but he was on the stage and he was performing. You're with a whole bunch of performers, like, behave yourself, you know what I mean? And then for people to advocate for it and say it's okay. We know what right and wrong is when we see it. That's the common sense, I guess, that's not so common, I guess, but sometimes you gotta act fool.
Nowadays, they're testing those limits.
I mean, it's just like, yo, you stand up for the right reasons, you know what I mean? And it's like, sometimes it's like, we fight the fights that could be won with us just being like, all right, taking accountability. The fight just saying, you know what, you're right. Conceding. And sometimes it's okay to do that. But when it comes to us thinking about really making an effective change, like this dude was talking about building a recreational center for kids and all this shit. And that's an awesome idea. But it's like, how do we get to that finish line? We can't even get everybody to give a fucking good Yelp review for a local black restaurant. Everybody gotta talk shit. You know what I mean? Well, their food wasn't on. Tell this motherfucker, you know him, yo, your food, you need to do this with that shit wasn't, hook that up, yo. If you need to do a fundraiser, man, you can reach out to us, whatever. But to just like
each one teach one.
You know, yeah. And that's the thing. Like we gotta help each other to become better instead of just pointing the finger at each other.
That makes you a target. That makes you a target.
But sometimes we gotta just take that.
Dr. Umar is a perfect example of that.
He's definitely a target.
Everything that
he did good, right, gets destroyed because of this situation.
No.
I'm just saying, not you, because you have the mind to decipher, okay, there is things that is still credible. I'm talking about
he can redeem this. He can fix this.
I'm not saying he can't. I'm just saying that this is in a form of an attack that some people are gonna lose all credibility just because of this situation. You see what I'm saying? And it's like people switch. Like look at Javante. Like nigga, nobody thought Lamont was gonna even get close to what he did.
The big slip.
You see what I'm saying? Now there's a lot of people saying that fucking he lost, regardless if he slipped. There's a lot of and it's like nobody thought that person would do that. So now guess what everybody's doing? Now everybody want to challenge him. Now everybody, fuck it, let's set up the fight. Now everybody think they could beat him and shit. Now he's vulnerable. Even if he's not really vulnerable, the only thing that's going to change the public opinion is if they see what you do currently. And then they say, okay, you got a little bit more time. That's how it is in the entertainment game. Like, you keep yourself relevant by, damn, you do some shit and then you buy yourself a little bit more time. Because ain't nobody was thinking about, ASAP for a while with his music, respectfully. I'm not trying to diss him, I'm just making a point. Ain't nobody was thinking about ASAP like that. Unless you was thinking about him and Rihanna, you wasn't thinking about ASAP by himself because he became ASAP and Rihanna when you deal with somebody of high caliber like that. You see what I'm saying? Especially if you're not already there.
She raised his bar.
That's what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, she raised his bar, and maybe he didn't feel like being in that shadow for a little bit. So, now you start getting unhappy. Now you start, let her know, like, yo, I'm trying to see you more. I feel like I'm just the baby daddy, just sitting here taking care of the kids while you out selling Fenty Savage and shit. You see what I'm saying? Or whatever you know what I mean? Like, she out there doing her endeavors. Like, I understand that. And I understand that would lead to temptations.
Should she stay with him?
I think if she can be honest with herself and say, look, I see the bigger picture and I would want, I still choose the family dynamic for him to be in the home and raise all of her kids together with him. I think that would show the Caribbean side of her where, you're upset that this man did this to you, but you're seeing the bigger picture that your kids are more important than maybe your happiness right now. You see what I'm saying? And duty. Duty is so important in raising a family, because to be that person of nurturing spirit, to be that person of wisdom, you have to understand that, like, sometimes you're not gonna like the outcome more if you didn't do as much as you could do. Like, you can't change somebody else, but if you didn't do as much as you could do, you might regret that later on when it's just you by yourself. You see what I'm saying? And I would hope that Rihanna would see the bigger picture, because if she does, then maybe ASAP, I think it would have to take Rihanna for ASAP to be like, yo, all right, maybe I was bugging. You see what I'm saying? And I apologize. But, maybe not. I don't know. It's a celebrity relationship, so you don't know how true things are. You don't know if people are with each other just for the cameras and shit. You don't know. You don't know what the fuck is going on. You think you know because they got kids and all this wild shit, but bro, if some of the shit that Kim Porter was saying is true, and Diddy wasn't the only one doing what was done with people, kids and people, pregnant wives and shit, then I'm just not surprised that there's more to these stories than we think.
You got any final words?
Yeah, man, do good and may good things happen to you.
Oh,
Yeah,
tell them
that's
about
true.
the show next
That's
week.
it. Oh yeah. We got a guest appearance, right?
Yeah.
Promote that. What's the Lifer podcast?
The lift.
It's the Lift.
The lift
The Lift
podcast.
podcast. Okay.
Humble Renaissance.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's
Social
gonna be
Sundays. They're gonna be having a concert.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah,
Is it a concert or is it like?
It's gonna be like a performance setting. Kind of like 106 in Park.
Oh,
Like,
that's
you know what
dope.
I mean, they're gonna
Okay.
have acts, and then we're gonna be having some good discussions or whatever. So
Oh shit. We better get our topics right.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's dope. Alright. That's next Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah,
So
right
that's what
before
we'll
St.
be
Patrick's
next
Day.
Sunday. We're still gonna film our shit, right? So it'll be our normal time that we.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So alright, we good. Yeah, man, it's gonna be dope.
Yeah. Thursday, March 16th. We got 3 tickets too. If anybody want to go, cause it's you gotta pay for admission.
Oh shit. Oh, they official tissue. Okay.
But come on down. There will be drinks. There will be food, I believe, and it's gonna be good vibes. We're gonna do the podcast. People gonna perform.
That's dope. Super dope.
It's gonna be in Hampton.
You heard? Come on down.
Come on down.
How much is the regular ticket? Did they say?
I don't know, but we don't have to.
Yeah, I know. I'm just for the crowd. For anybody that want to pull up.
I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. I'm not sure the price of the ticket.
It can't be more than 20. I don't think it's more than 20.
Yeah, I don't think it's not crazy.
Not crazy, yeah. Check us out.
All right, thank you for tuning in for another episode of Get Lifted. 30 is the new 20. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe. And hit the notification bell so you're notified the next time we post or go live.
Sure.
I'm La Jefa.
CrisxmasOnDemand.
SmileyJizzle. Yeah.
Get Lifted.